Welcome to Wife Cheating Story. I hope you have an enjoyable and relaxing time listening. Let's get started.
The courtroom smells like old wood and disappointment. I've been in enough of them to know the scent by heart, that particular blend of furniture polish, fear sweat, and broken promises. Today, though, I'm not here as Simon Hartley, defense attorney. I'm here as Simon Hartley, husband trying to save his wife from a decade behind bars. Your Honor, I say, standing up and buttoning my jacket with practiced ease. The Armani fits like it was born on me, which it practically was $3,000 worth of Italian craftsmanship that screams competence. My client, Melissa Hartley, has been manipulated by her superior, used as a scapegoat in this embezzlement scheme that she had no knowledge of participating in. Judge Morrison peers at me over his reading glasses. I've argued before him maybe a dozen times. He's fair, which is all you can ask for in this business. Behind me, I can feel the weight of eyes, the prosecutor, the court reporter, the gallery filled with vultures from the press, and somewhere in there, my 7-year-old daughter Rachel, clutching her grandmother's hand like it's the only thing keeping her anchored to earth. The evidence suggests otherwise, Mr. Hartley, the judge says, shuffling papers. The transfers were made using your client's access codes. Access codes that her supervisor, Harvey Chen, had full knowledge of. I counter. Mr. Chen, who is facing 20 years for orchestrating this entire operation, specifically targeted my client because of her trusting nature and her position as his executive assistant. She was a tool, Your Honor, nothing more. The thing about being a good lawyer is knowing when to push and when to pull back. Right now, I'm threading a needle trying to save Melissa without seeming desperate. Desperation stinks worse than guilt in a courtroom. Furthermore, I continue, my client has no prior criminal record. She's a mother, a valued member of her community. She volunteers at the local food bank every Thanksgiving. This is not the profile of someone who would knowingly participate in embezzling $3 million from Manhattan Savings and Loan. The prosecutor, a sharp-dressed pit bull named Catherine Walsh, stands up. Your Honor, the defendant had ample opportunity to report these supposed irregularities. Instead, she facilitated 47 separate transfers over a period of 18 months. Under direct orders from her supervisor, I shoot back. Orders she believed were legitimate business transactions. My client is guilty of trusting the wrong person, not of criminal intent. The judge's gavel falls like a guillotine. 5 years, with possibility of parole in 3. I exhale slowly. It's not the acquittal I wanted, but it's better than the 10-year sentence the prosecution was pushing for. Behind me, I hear a small voice Rachel's whisper something to her grandmother. The words hit me like ice water. Does this mean Mommy's coming home? I turn around as the courtroom begins to empty. Rachel breaks free from my mother's grip and runs to me, her little patent leather shoes clicking on the linoleum. She's wearing the dress Melissa picked out for her last Christmas navy blue with tiny white flowers. It's getting too small. Daddy, you brought Mommy back. She throws her arms around my legs, and I have to steady myself with one hand on the defense table. Not yet, sweetheart, I say, kneeling down to her level. Her eyes are Melissa's, that particular shade of green that shifts between jade and emerald depending on the light. But I've made sure she'll come home sooner than if I hadn't helped. When? The question every child asks, and no parent wants to answer. 3 years if she's very good. Maybe less. That's forever, she says, and her lower lip trembles. I know it seems that way. I pull her close, smelling the strawberry shampoo my mother must have used on her hair this morning. But we'll visit her every week, okay? And she can call us every day. Behind us, the bailiffs are preparing to take Melissa away. She's looking at us with tears streaming down her face, her hands cuffed in front of her. Even in the ugly orange jumpsuit, she's beautiful, that kind of classical beauty that turns heads in grocery stores and makes other wives suspicious at parties. Dark hair, high cheekbones, skin like porcelain. Prison is going to eat her alive. Can I hug Mommy? Rachel asks. I look at the bailiff Rodriguez, I think his name is. He's worked this courtroom for years. He gives me a small nod. Quickly, I say. Rachel runs to her mother, and Melissa drops to her knees as best she can with the restraints. They hold each other, and I hear Melissa whispering promises she'll be good. She'll come home soon. She loves her more than all the stars in the sky. The same promises every mother makes when the state is about to take them away. "Time's up," Rodriguez says gently. Rachel pulls back, and I see Melissa mouth, "Take care of her," to me over our daughter's head. I nod. What else can I do? The federal facility is 2 hours north of the city, up where New York starts to think about becoming something else, not quite urban, not quite rural. Just that peculiar in-between that's all strip malls and forgotten dreams. I've made this drive before with clients, but never with my wife. Melissa sits in the processing area behind reinforced glass. They've already taken her jewelry, her clothes, everything that made her who she was on the outside. The orange jumpsuit is too big, making her look smaller, younger, vulnerable. "You believed in me when nobody else did," she says, pressing her palm against the glass. I match the gesture, the barrier cold against my skin. "I don't know how to thank you." "You don't have to thank me. I'm your husband." "Still," she says, and tries to smile. "Harvey's lawyer wouldn't have gotten me 5 years. You saved me, Simon." Behind her, a corrections officer watches our interaction with the kind of bored attention that comes from seeing too many tearful goodbyes. He's tall, built like someone who spends his off hours in the gym, with close-cropped blonde hair and eyes the color of winter sky. His name tag reads, Thompson B. "Mrs. Hartley," he says, not unkindly. "Time to go." Melissa looks back at him, then at me. "Promise me you'll bring Rachel every week." "Every week," I agree. "And I'll put money in your commissary account. Make sure you have what you need." "I love you," she says. "I love you too." Thompson leads her away, and I watch until they disappear through a steel door that closes with the finality of a tomb. On the drive home, I try not to think about how easily she went with him, how her shoulders relaxed just slightly when he put his hand on her elbow to guide her. Harvey Chen gets 20 years. I'm in the courtroom for that one too, partly out of professional curiosity and partly because I want to see the bastard who destroyed my family get what's coming to him. He sits at the defense table like a deflated balloon, all the arrogance bled out of him. The prosecutor Walsh again, she must specialize in financial crimes, lays out the case with surgical precision. Harvey targeted 3 separate employees over 5 years, using their access codes to move money into offshore accounts. Melissa was just the latest, the one who got caught when the bank finally noticed the hemorrhaging funds. "Mr. Chen systematically groomed these employees," Walsh says, "gaining their trust, learning their passwords, manipulating them into compromising positions where they felt they had no choice but to comply with his schemes." I think about Melissa working late all those nights, coming home stressed and distant. How many times did she mention Harvey? How he was so demanding, so particular about how things should be done. I thought he was just another asshole boss. Turns out he was something worse. After the sentencing, I corner Walsh in the hallway. "Why Melissa?" I ask. "Out of all the employees at the bank, why her?" Walsh looks at me with something like pity. She had the access he needed. And she hesitates. And she trusted him. Chen's psychological profile shows he specifically targets people with high empathy, people who want to help, who want to be liked. Your wife fit the profile perfectly. I want to argue, want to defend Melissa's intelligence, her street smarts, but the evidence is already in. She did trust him. She did help him. And now she's doing 5 years while he does 20. Which seems like justice until you realize Rachel won't have her mother for the most formative years of her life. That night, I'm packing up Melissa's things from her office at the bank. They gave me a cardboard box in an hour. 7 years of her professional life, and it fits in a box I could carry with one arm. There's the photo of us from our honeymoon in Bermuda, both of us sunburned and stupid with happiness. The coffee mug Rachel made her in kindergarten world's best mom in crooked purple letters. A sweater she kept on the back of her chair for when the air conditioning got too aggressive. Normal things, the detritus of a normal life. I'm about to close the box when I notice something wedged behind the desk drawer. It takes some maneuvering, but I manage to work it free. A USB drive, black, unlabeled. The kind you can buy at any office supply store for $10. I hold it up to the fluorescent light, as if that might reveal its secrets. Could be nothing, maybe backup files. Maybe personal photos. Maybe something else. My finger hovers over my jacket pocket. I should look at it. Any good lawyer would look at it. Daddy? Rachel's voice carries from the reception area where my mother is watching her. I need to go potty. I shove the drive in my pocket and forget about it. There are more immediate concerns getting Rachel home, making dinner, figuring out how to braid hair because Melissa always did that, and YouTube tutorials only help so much. The drive stays in my pocket, transferred from jacket to jacket, a small weight I carry but never examine. Later, I'll wonder if that was the moment everything could have changed. If I'd looked at that drive right then, would I have seen the truth earlier? Would it have mattered? But that's the thing about hindsight. It's got perfect vision and a cruel sense of timing. The new routine establishes itself with surprising speed. I reorganize my practice, shifting court appearances to cluster on specific days, taking on fewer new clients. The senior partners at Hartley, Brennan, and Associates aren't thrilled, but I've brought in enough billable hours over the years that they give me latitude. Mornings are about Rachel now. Getting her up, dressed, fed. I learn that she likes her eggs scrambled but not too wet, that she needs exactly 3 reminders to brush her teeth, that her socks have to match not just in color but in texture or the whole day is ruined. These are things Melissa just knew, knowledge passed from mother to daughter in some secret language I'm only now beginning to decode. Why can't Mommy call us in the morning? Rachel asks one day over Cheerios. The phones don't work that early at her place, I say. I haven't figured out how to explain prison to a 7-year-old yet, but she'll call tonight after dinner like always. Okay? She seems to accept this, the way children accept the inexplicable rules of the adult world. Can we get a dog? What? Mommy said maybe we could get a dog before she had to go away. I don't remember any conversation about dogs, but then Melissa and I hadn't been talking much in those last months. Too much stress, too much distance. Now I wonder what else they discussed while I was staying late at the office, building my reputation while my family was falling apart. We'll see, I say, which is parent speak for probably not. That means no, Rachel says, proving she's inherited her mother's ability to see through my bullshit. It means we'll see. She gives me a look that's pure Melissa skeptical, slightly amused, ultimately forgiving. I reach across the table and fix her hair clip, which is listing to starboard. I miss her too, baby girl. I know, she says, and goes back to her cereal. Every Sunday we make the drive north. I pack snacks, games, anything to make the journey easier for Rachel. She sits in the back with her American Girl doll, the one that looks like her, that Melissa insisted on buying even though it cost more than some people's car payments. The visiting room at the federal facility is designed to be non-threatening, but there's only so much you can do with cinder blocks and fluorescent lights. The chairs are bolted to the floor. The vending machines offer the illusion of normalcy look. You can buy your loved one a Snickers bar, just like on the outside. Never mind the armed guards, the cameras, the way every movement is cataloged and assessed. Melissa looks good for someone who's been inside for a month. She's lost weight, but her hair is still styled, her nails still neat. I put money in her commissary account every week, making sure she can buy decent shampoo, snacks, whatever small comforts are available. How's my baby girl? She asks Rachel, pulling her onto her lap. Good. Daddy made pancakes, but they were burnt on one side. Hey, I protest. They were caramelized. Burnt? Rachel insists, and Melissa laughs. It's the first genuine laugh I've heard from her since the arrest. We talk about nothing, Rachel's school, my cases, the weather, anything but where we are and why. Other families are doing the same dance around us, pretending this is normal, that spending your Sundays in a federal facility is just what families do. I got a job in the library, Melissa says eventually. The pay is terrible, like 50 cents an hour, but it passes the time, and Officer Thompson helped me get it. He's been really kind. Something flickers across my radar. Lawyer's instinct, maybe. Thompson? Bryce Thompson. He was there when you dropped me off, remember? Tall, blonde. He runs the library program. I do remember. The way he touched her elbow, the way she relaxed. That's good, I say. Good that you're keeping busy. The other women say I'm lucky. Library jobs are hard to get. Usually you have to wait years, but there was an opening and Officer Thompson put in a word for me. That was nice of him. He says I remind him of his sister. She's a teacher in Ohio. The conversation moves on, but something nags at me. In my experience, corrections officers who go out of their way to be helpful usually want something in return. But I push the thought away. Melissa needs allies in there, needs people looking out for her. If Thompson wants to help because she reminds him of his sister, who am I to question it? The visit ends too soon, as always. Rachel clings to her mother, making promises to be good, to help Daddy, to do her homework without being asked. Melissa holds her tight, whispering in her ear, and I see Thompson watching from his post by the door. When he catches me looking, he nods professional, courteous, nothing more. On the drive home, Rachel falls asleep in the back seat, worn out from the emotion of seeing and leaving her mother. I glance at her in the rearview mirror, mouth slightly open, one hand still clutching the doll. She looks so much like Melissa at that age. I've seen the photos. Know the resemblance is uncanny. Daddy's going to bring Mommy home, I whisper to the sleeping child. We just have to be patient. I don't notice the irregularities yet. Don't see the pattern forming. The extra phone time Melissa seems to get. The way her library schedule always seems to coincide with Thompson's shifts. The small favors that accumulate like snowflakes, each one insignificant until suddenly you're buried. That comes later. For now, I'm just a husband trying to hold his family together, a father learning to braid hair, a lawyer who believes in the system because he has to. The USB drive sits in my jacket pocket, forgotten. The truth waits patiently, knowing its time will come. Outside, the New York winter settles in for the long haul, and somewhere in a federal facility 2 hours north, my wife is learning that prison has its own economy, its own rules, its own particular way of breaking people down and rebuilding them into something else entirely. But I don't know that yet. I'm still naive enough to believe that 5 years is just time to be served, that Melissa will come out the same person who went in, that love and weekly visits and money in the commissary account will be enough to protect her from what's coming. I'm Simon Hartley, and I'm about to learn exactly how much I don't know about the woman I married. 2 years. That's how long it takes for the cracks to show, though looking back, they were probably there from the beginning. I just wasn't paying attention. Too busy juggling single fatherhood and a legal practice to notice the slow erosion of everything I thought I knew. Marcus Webb sits across from me in the consultation room, his left eye still swollen shut, purple fading to yellow at the edges. He's nervous, keeps touching his ribs where the worst of the damage is hidden under a cheap button-down shirt. Former inmates always have that same energy, like they're waiting for someone to tell them time's up, back to your cell. They said you're the best, he says. Said you don't judge. I'm a lawyer, Mr. Webb. Judging is the court's job, not mine. He almost smiles at that. My cousin did time with your wife. Said you still visit every week. Not many men would do that. It's not the first time someone's mentioned Melissa to a potential client. Word travels in prison, creates its own networks. I've gotten 3 referrals this year from women she's helped in the library. I don't know whether to be proud or concerned that my wife has become a person of influence on the inside. Tell me what happened, I say, pulling out my legal pad. Marcus shifts in his seat, winces. Guard named Thompson. Bryce Thompson. He had it out for me from day one. My pen stops moving. Thompson? Yeah. Big guy, blonde, works the library sometimes. You know him? I think of Melissa mentioning him, how he helped her get the library job, how kind he's been. I've heard the name. He's got a reputation, Marcus continues. Likes to play favorites. If you're one of his girls, you get whatever you want. Extra phone time, better work assignments, contraband. But if you cross him, he gestures to his face. His girls? Marcus looks uncomfortable. The pretty ones. He's always got 2 or 3 he's taking care of. Everyone knows, but nobody says nothing because snitches end up like me. Or worse. I write this down. Professional, detached, even as something cold settles in my stomach. Were you targeted because you complained? I tried to file a grievance. Next thing I know, I'm getting worked over in the showers. Thompson wasn't even there, but everyone knew he ordered it. Do you have proof? Another inmate saw it, Miguel Reyes, but he won't testify unless you can guarantee protection. I make a note. I'll see what I can do. Tell me more about Thompson's activities. Marcus leans forward, lowers his voice like we might be overheard even here. He brings in cell phones, drugs, whatever you need if you can pay. But the women, that's his real business. He finds the ones who are desperate, lonely, missing their families. Promises them protection, extra privileges. Next thing you know, they're in too deep to get out. Are you saying he's sexually assaulting inmates? I'm saying it's not always assault when someone has that much power over you. When saying no means losing your library job, your phone privileges, your protection from the real predators. What would you call that? I know exactly what I'd call it, but I keep my face neutral. Has anyone reported this? 3 women tried over the past 5 years. 2 got transferred to max security supposedly for their own protection. The third, he shrugs. She withdrew her complaint, said she misunderstood the situation. I think about Melissa, how happy she seemed lately, how she always mentions the extra computer time Thompson arranged for her, the books he special ordered for the library, how she laughs when she talks about him, says he reminds her of her brother even though she doesn't have a brother. I'll take your case, I say, but I need everything, names, dates, incidents, any documentation you can get your hands on. Marcus nods, relief visible on his battered face. Thank you. My cousin said if anyone could take down Thompson, it'd be you. After he leaves, I sit in my office staring at my notes. Thompson's name appears 17 times. I think about calling Melissa, asking her directly, but our calls are monitored. And what would I say? Hey, honey, is the guard who's been so helpful trying to fuck you? Instead, I pull up the visitor logs from the past 2 years, every Sunday, like clockwork. Except, I notice gaps, small ones, a missed visit here and there. Always with reasonable explanations. Rachel had a recital, I had a trial, Melissa wasn't feeling well, but they align with something else. I cross-reference with my calendar, with Melissa's letters. The pattern emerges slowly, like a photograph developing in solution. Every time we miss a visit, Melissa mentions the library in her next letter, how busy it's been, how Thompson needed extra help with inventory, how she's learning so much about catalog systems. I might skip next weekend's visit. Melissa's voice sounds tinny through the prison phone system. In the background, I can hear the echo of other conversations, the constant noise of too many people in too little space. Why? I try to keep my voice neutral, just feeling overwhelmed. The library's doing a big reorganization and Thompson asked if I could put in extra hours. It's good money, well, good for here, almost $1 an hour. Rachel will be disappointed. I know. A pause. Actually, doesn't she have that school play next weekend? The one where she's a tree? She's right. Rachel is playing tree number 3 in the 2nd grade production of The Enchanted Forest. I'd forgotten, but Melissa remembered. Even from inside, she's still a better parent than I am. You're right. I forgot. See? Perfect timing. You can video it for me. After we hang up, I stare at the phone. Was that relief in her voice when I confirmed the conflict? Am I being paranoid? Or is my wife actively avoiding seeing me? That night, I tuck Rachel into bed and she asks her usual question. Why doesn't Mommy call as much anymore? It's true. The daily calls have become every other day, sometimes every 3rd day. Always with explanations. The phones were down. She was in a lockdown because someone else caused trouble. She was working late at the library. She's probably just busy with her programs, sweetheart, I say, smoothing her hair. It's getting long, past her shoulders now. Melissa would know exactly how to style it. I just throw it in a ponytail and hope for the best. Madison's mom calls every single day, Rachel says, and she's in the same place as Mommy. I didn't know there was a Madison in Rachel's class with an incarcerated mother. The little support group of damaged children grows without us parents ever acknowledging it. Every family is different, I say. Mommy loves you very much. I know, Rachel says, but there's something in her voice that breaks my heart. The beginning of doubt, maybe. The first crack in her faith that her parents can fix everything. I win Marcus Webb's case. It takes 6 months of depositions, discovery battles, and a very uncomfortable meeting with the warden. But we get there. Thompson is suspended pending investigation, and the facility agrees to a settlement that will keep Marcus comfortable for a while. The night the suspension goes through, my phone rings at 2 a.m. Melissa's number from the prison. How could you do this to Bryce? Her voice is different, harder, angrier than I've ever heard it. He's been nothing but kind to me. I sit up in bed, instantly awake. Melissa, what are you talking about? Don't play dumb, Simon. I know you represented that piece of shit, Webb. I know you're the reason Bryce got suspended. Bryce, not Officer Thompson. Bryce. He beat an inmate, Melissa, badly. The man had broken ribs, a concussion. Marcus Webb is a liar and a troublemaker. He's been harassing the female inmates, and Bryce was just trying to protect us. That's not what the evidence shows. Evidence? She laughs, but it's not a sound I recognize. You don't know what it's like in here. You don't know who protects us and who doesn't. Bryce is one of the good ones. Melissa. No, you listen to me. You have no idea what you've done. Do you know what happens to women in here without protection? Do you know what the other guards are like? If you're being threatened, I'm being protected, was being protected, until my husband decided to play hero for some convict who probably deserved what he got. The line goes dead. I stare at the phone, trying to reconcile this person with the woman I married. The woman who cried when we had to put down our cat, who volunteered at the shelter every weekend, who used to say the law was about protecting people who couldn't protect themselves. I don't sleep the rest of the night. The next day, I do something I swore I wouldn't. I hire a private investigator. Nora Chen comes recommended by a colleague who specializes in divorce cases. I'm not planning a divorce, I tell myself. I just need information. Interesting last name, I say when she walks into my office. She's maybe 40, sharp-featured, wearing a suit that says competent without trying too hard. My ex-husband's, she says. I kept it for professional reasons. Makes certain investigations easier when people assume I'm connected to the Chinese community. Any relation to Harvey Chen? Her face hardens. My former brother-in-law, part of why I'm former now. I tried to warn my husband that Harvey was dirty, but family loyalty won. She sits down, crosses her legs. I understand Harvey's conviction is what put your wife inside. He manipulated her. He manipulated everyone. It's what he did. She pulls out a tablet. So what do you need? Information on a corrections officer named Bryce Thompson. Everything you can find. The one who just got suspended for excessive force? You've heard of him? I keep tabs on Harvey's case. Anyone connected to it interests me. She makes a note. Anything specific you're looking for? I hesitate. Once I say it out loud, I can't take it back. I think he might be involved with my wife. Nora's expression doesn't change. Sexually? I don't know. Maybe. She's become very protective of him. In my experience, when inmates become protective of guards, there's usually exploitation involved. Not always sexual, but always inappropriate. She closes her tablet. I'll need access to visitor logs, phone records if you can get them, any correspondence. Whatever you need. Mr. Hartley Simon. I need you to understand something. If I investigate this, I'm going to find the truth. Not the truth you want or the truth that makes you comfortable. The actual truth. Are you prepared for that? I think about Melissa's voice on the phone, the anger and fear mixed together. Yes. Good. I'll be in touch. After she leaves, I pull out the USB drive that's been living in my jacket pocket for 2 years. Such a small thing to have carried for so long. I turn it over in my fingers, then put it back. Not yet. I'm not ready for all the truth yet. Thompson's background, when Nora delivers it, reads like a predator's resume. 3 institutions in 7 years, always leaving just before investigations conclude. Complaints that disappear, transfers that happen at convenient times, a pattern so clear it might as well be written in neon. He's smart, Nora says, spreading photos across my desk. Never leaves enough evidence for criminal charges, but the pattern is unmistakable. One photo shows Thompson with a woman outside a motel. Another shows a different woman at what looks like a restaurant. All the women are brunettes, all beautiful in that same classical way. All look like Melissa. Former inmates? Karen Walsh, released 3 years ago. Linda Martinez, released 18 months ago. Both had library jobs while inside. Both received special privileges from Thompson. Both cut contact with him immediately upon release. Did you talk to them? Karen wouldn't return my calls. Linda. Nora pushes another photo forward. It's a police report. Filed a restraining order against Thompson 6 months after her release. Said he wouldn't leave her alone, kept showing up at her job, her apartment. She moved to California to get away from him. Jesus. There's more. Small deposits in commissary accounts that don't match family contributions, phone logs showing calls at unusual hours. And this. She hands me a printout. Thompson has a side business selling contraband cell phones to inmates. Guess who helps him distribute them to the female population? I don't have to guess. The answer is written in Melissa's changing behavior, her defensiveness, her anger when Thompson was suspended. What do I do with this? That depends on what you want. If you want to protect your wife, you need to get her away from him. If you want justice, you build a case. If you want the truth. She shrugs. You probably already have it. That night, I finally plug in the USB drive. Password protected, but our anniversary date unlocks it. Folders full of emails, photos, chat logs. The affair with Harvey started 2 years before the embezzlement. She knew about the scheme from the beginning. Was supposed to get a cut when they fled to Costa Rica. I stare at a photo of them together at what looks like a hotel bar. Melissa is laughing, her head thrown back, Harvey's hand on her thigh. She's wearing the dress I bought her for her birthday. Told me she was at a work conference. The lies stack up like bodies. Every late night, every weekend conference, every time she was too tired for intimacy. Harvey had her first, and I got the leftovers. I close the laptop and pour myself 3 fingers of whiskey. Then I pour 3 more. Rachel is asleep upstairs, dreaming whatever dreams 7-year-olds have when their mothers are in prison and their fathers are slowly drowning in revelations. Thompson isn't Melissa's first inappropriate relationship. He's just the latest. And I'm the fool who's been paying for her to have phone sex with him twice a week while telling our daughter that Mommy loves her to the moon and back. Why doesn't Mommy call as much anymore? Rachel asks the question again over breakfast. It's been 3 weeks since Melissa's angry 2 a.m. call, and the silence has been deafening. A few perfunctory messages through the email system, nothing more. She's probably just busy with her program, sweetheart. But I can see Rachel isn't buying it anymore. She's too smart, too observant. She knows something's wrong. Is Mommy mad at us? No, baby. Mommy could never be mad at you. But she's mad at you? I look at my daughter, really look at her. She's growing up in ways I didn't notice, losing that little kid roundness, her face taking on the angular beauty of her mother. How much does she understand? How much should I protect her from? Maybe a little, I admit. Sometimes adults disagree about things. Like when you and Mommy used to fight about money? I didn't know she heard those fights. We tried to keep them quiet behind closed doors. But kids hear everything, absorb it all like little sponges. Something like that. Rachel pushes her eggs around her plate. Madison's mom got a new boyfriend in prison. She doesn't call as much either. There it is. The truth from the mouths of babes. Even the second graders know what decreased phone calls mean in the economy of incarceration. Eat your breakfast, I say gently. You'll be late for school. But she's already told me everything I need to know. When we visit that Sunday, because despite everything, I can't deny Rachel, her mother, Melissa, looks different. Her hair is styled differently, softer. She's wearing makeup, which she hasn't bothered with in months. There's a lightness to her that seems obscene in this place. You look nice, I say, because what else can I say in front of our daughter? Thank you. I've been taking better care of myself. The therapy programs here are really helpful. Therapy. Is that what we're calling it now? Rachel climbs into her mother's lap, and they talk about school, about tree number 3's triumphant performance, about the possibility of getting her ears pierced. Normal mother-daughter things that feel surreal in this setting. I saved up my commissary money, Melissa tells Rachel, producing a small beaded bracelet. I made this for you in craft class. It's actually beautiful, delicate work with tiny glass beads in Rachel's favorite colors, the kind of thing that takes hours of careful attention. I wonder when she found the time between her library duties and whatever else she's been doing. It's pretty, Mommy. There's a matching one, Melissa says, holding up her wrist where an identical bracelet catches the light. So we can be twins even when we're apart. I catch something in her voice on the word apart. Like she's already imagining a future where that's not the case. But she's got 3 more years minimum. And that's only if she stays out of trouble. Which, given what I now know about Thompson, seems unlikely. How's the library? I ask. testing the waters. Her face closes off slightly. Fine, we're short-staffed since some personnel changes, but I'm managing. Must be difficult without Thompson helping out. She looks at me sharply. His name is Officer Thompson, and yes, it's been challenging without him. He understood how important the library is to rehabilitation. I'm sure he did. We stare at each other across the visiting room table, all pretense of normal family conversation evaporating. Rachel, sensing the tension, starts playing with her bracelet. "Simon," Melissa says quietly, "you don't understand how things work in here." "Then explain it to me." "I can't. You'd have to live it to understand. The way the days blend together, the way you start to forget who you were outside, the way kindness becomes the most valuable currency." She looks down at her hands. "When someone is kind to you in here, really kind, not just doing their job, you don't question it. You can't afford to. Even if that kindness comes with a price? Everything has a price in here. At least with E," she stops herself. "At least some prices are worth paying." We leave shortly after that, Rachel clutching her new bracelet and chattering about showing it to her friends. In the rearview mirror, I see her holding her wrist up to the light, watching the beads sparkle. "Daddy," she says suddenly, "why did you and Mommy stop talking nicely to each other?" "We're just having a disagreement, baby." About her friend? The one who got in trouble? Jesus. Even Rachel knows. Something like that. "I don't like when you fight," she says quietly. "It makes my tummy hurt." "Mine too, baby. Mine too." That night, after Rachel's asleep, I call Nora Chen. "I need more," I say without preamble. "More what?" "Everything. Financial records, visitor logs, employee schedules. I want to know every time Thompson breathes in that facility. That's going to cost. I don't care what it costs." There's a pause. "Are you planning to take him down or save your marriage?" "I don't know. Maybe both. Maybe neither. I just need to know exactly what I'm dealing with." "Okay. But Simon, in my experience, when you dig this deep, you find things you can't unfind. Are you prepared for that?" I think about Melissa's face today, the way she glowed when she talked about kindness being currency. I'm prepared. But I'm not. Not really. Nobody's ever prepared to watch their life unravel thread by thread, to see the person they love become a stranger, to realize that maybe they were always a stranger and you were just too blind to notice. I pour another whiskey and stare at the USB drive on my desk. 2 years I carried it around like a talisman, and it was a bomb the whole time. Now Thompson is another bomb, ticking away in the background of our lives. Tomorrow I'll look at the rest of the files. Tomorrow I'll face whatever truth is hiding in those encrypted folders. Tomorrow I'll figure out how to explain to a 7-year-old that sometimes mommies make choices that daddies can't fix. But tonight, I sit in the dark and listen to the sound of my daughter breathing through the baby monitor we still use, even though she's too old for it. She makes little noises in her sleep, remnants of whatever dreams are helping her process this impossible situation. "Please bring Mommy home, Daddy." The words echo in the darkness. But which Mommy? The one I married? The one who schemed with Harvey? The one who's falling for a predator in a uniform? Or someone else entirely? Someone I haven't met yet, but who's being shaped by forces I can't control? I don't have answers. Just a sleeping child, a glass of whiskey, and the growing certainty that some promises are impossible to keep. The investigation becomes my second job. After court, after dinner with Rachel, after helping with homework and reading bedtime stories about princesses who saved themselves, I sit at my desk and piece together the truth of my wife's transformation. Nora's reports arrive like clockwork, each one more damning than the last. Financial records showing deposits that don't match any legitimate source. Visitor logs with anomalies, times when Melissa was supposedly in the library, but the library was closed. Security footage that's mysteriously corrupted during certain periods, always when Thompson was on duty. "He's running a full-service operation," Nora tells me over coffee at a diner near the courthouse. "Phones, drugs, protection rackets. The women are just a sideline, but they're the most profitable. They're mules, banks, and entertainment all rolled into one." Banks. Inmates can only receive limited funds from outside, but if Thompson needs to move larger amounts, he uses the women's accounts. They get a cut, he gets clean money, everyone's happy. except the women who try to leave the arrangement. I think about those small deposits in Melissa's account, the ones she said were from her prison job. How much are we talking about? Based on what I've found, your wife has moved at least $50,000 through her account in the past 18 months. The coffee turns to acid in my stomach. That's impossible. I would have noticed. Would you? You put in what, $100 a week for commissary? Another $100 here and there for phone time? Small deposits of $200, $300 don't stand out, but they add up. She slides a spreadsheet across the table. The numbers don't lie. Deposits from accounts I don't recognize. Withdrawals that coincide with Thompson's days off. My wife has become a money launderer. There's more, Nora says. I found Karen Walsh, Thompson's former. Whatever. She's willing to talk, but only to you. Says she won't trust another investigator, but she Googled you. Knows you're married to an inmate. Figures you'll understand. When? Tomorrow, if you can make it. She lives in Jersey now, works at a dental office. Can you get away? I think about my calendar, the deposition I need to prepare for, Rachel's parent-teacher conference. I'll make it work. Karen Walsh looks like she's aged a decade in the 3 years since her release. She's still beautiful in that fragile way that makes men want to protect her, but there's something broken behind her eyes. We meet at a coffee shop near her work, somewhere public, safe. He promised me everything, she says without preamble. Said he'd leave his wife, set me up in an apartment, take care of me. And I believed him because inside, you'll believe anything that sounds like hope. When did it start? 2 months into my sentence. I was doing 7 years for fraud, helped my boyfriend steal credit card numbers. Stupid, but I was 23 and in love. She laughs bitterly. Seems I have a type. Men who use me for crime. Thompson approached you? He saved me. Or that's what it felt like then. Another inmate was hassling me, threatening me. Thompson intervened, got me transferred to a different unit, got me the library job, said I was too smart to waste away in general population. The pattern is so familiar it hurts. And then, little things at first, extra phone time to call my daughter, bringing me books from outside that weren't in the library, telling me I was different from the other women, special. By the time he kissed me, I was so grateful I would have done anything for him. Did you report what? That a guard was being nice to me? That he brought me chocolate on my birthday? That he held me while I cried about missing my daughter's first day of school? She shakes her head. You don't understand how it works inside. Kindness is a drug, and he was my dealer. When did you realize what was really happening? When he asked me to hold some money for him. Said it was just temporary, that he was having issues with his wife freezing his accounts. I knew it was wrong, but by then we were involved. You don't say no to someone who literally holds your life in their hands. How much money? Started small, few hundred here and there. By the time I got out, I'd moved over 200,000 through various accounts he set up. And after your release? Her hands tremble as she lifts her coffee cup. He showed up at my halfway house the day I got out. Had an apartment all ready for me, just like he promised. Except it wasn't a fresh start. It was a cage with nicer bars. He expected you to keep working for him? Expected me to keep fucking him, she says bluntly. The money was just a bonus. But the worst part? I almost did it. 3 years of conditioning is hard to break. It took him hitting me when I said I wanted to look for a real job to snap me out of it. He hit you? Just once. But once was enough. I filed a restraining order and moved across the country. Took 2 years before he stopped trying to contact me. Would you testify to this? She looks at me like I'm insane. Are you kidding? I've got a daughter to think about, a job that doesn't know about my record, a life I've built from scratch. I'm not destroying all that to save your wife from making the same mistakes I did. She doesn't know what he is. Bullshit. The vehemence in her voice startles me. We all know. Deep down, we know. We just tell ourselves pretty lies because the truth is too ugly to live with. Your wife knows exactly what Thompson is. She just thinks she's different, special, that he really loves her. Did he? Love you? He loved what I could do for him. The money I moved, the sex, the power. You know what he used to say? That I was his retirement plan. That when he quit the DIOC, we'd take all that money and disappear to Mexico. She laughs bitterly. Turns out he told the same thing to 3 other women. We were all his retirement plan. I drive home from Jersey with Karen's words echoing in my head. Your wife knows exactly what he is. I want to reject it, to believe Melissa is purely a victim, but the evidence suggests otherwise. The anger when Thompson was suspended, the glow when she talks about him, the distance between us that started long before her arrest. That night, I finally opened the rest of Harvey's files. If I'm going to face the truth about Thompson, I need to face all of it. The emails go back 3 years, Melissa and Harvey planning their future together. The embezzlement was her idea. Originally, she saw an opportunity and brought it to him. The lonely secretary manipulated by her boss narrative we sold the jury was exactly that, a story. From Melissa@ManhattanSavings.com to HarveyC@ManhattanSavings.com. Subject, Our Plan H. I've figured out how to make the transfers look like routine pension distributions. Simon's been working late all week. Shocking, right? So I'll have time to set up the offshore accounts. 3 more months and we'll be sipping margaritas in Costa Rica. Can't wait to be rid of this life. M. I read email after email, each one another nail in the coffin of my marriage. She wasn't just planning to steal money. She was planning to steal our daughter. There are emails about custody, about how to make me look like an absent father, about Swiss boarding schools where Rachel could get a proper education. My hands shake as I open a folder labeled Insurance. Photos of me at client dinners, taken from angles that make innocent meetings look suspicious. Photos of my paralegal, Ashley, getting into my car after we worked late on a brief Melissa knew we were preparing for trial, but the images suggest something else. She was building a case against me, probably planning to use it in divorce proceedings after she fled. The deepest cut comes in an email dated just a week before her arrest. From Melissa@ManhattanSavings.com to HarveyC@ManhattanSavings.com. Subject, Cold Feet, stop overthinking this. Simon's a good lawyer, but he's too trusting. He still thinks I'm the sweet girl he married in law school. The fool doesn't even notice when I come home smelling like your cologne. As for Rachel, she'll adjust. Kids are resilient. And honestly, she'll be better off without watching her parents' loveless marriage dissolve year by year. Loveless. Is that what we'd become? I thought we were just busy, stressed, navigating the challenges every couple faces. But while I was trying to build a life, she was planning her escape. Can I have more Cocoa Puffs? Rachel's voice brings me back to the present. It's Saturday morning and she's already in her soccer uniform, ready for her game. I've been staring at the same bowl of soggy cereal for 20 minutes, lost in revelations. You already had one bowl, but I'm still hungry, and growing girls need nutrition. Cocoa Puffs aren't nutrition. They have vitamins. It says so on the box. Despite everything, I smile. One more bowl. But eat some fruit too. Deal. She pours her cereal with the concentration of a neurosurgeon, making sure the ratio of milk to puffs is exactly right. So much of Melissa in her mannerisms, but also something uniquely Rachel, an honesty that her mother lacks. Daddy, are we going to see Mommy tomorrow? Do you want to? She considers this while crunching. I miss her, but she's been weird lately. Weird how? Like she's pretending. Like when Mrs. Davidson pretends she likes it when we're loud at recess, but really she doesn't. 9 years old and already reading people better than I do. Sometimes adults pretend when they're sad or confused. Is Mommy sad? I think so, yes. Then we should visit. When I'm sad, hugs help. The pure simplicity of it breaks my heart. In Rachel's world, love is still the answer to everything. Hugs can fix sadness, kisses can heal boo-boos, and mommies always come home. During the soccer game, I sit with the other parents and pretend everything's normal. We chat about the weather, the new math curriculum, the outrageous price of youth sports. Nobody mentions that my wife is in federal prison or that their kids whisper about Rachel behind her back. Simon! A woman's voice, familiar but unexpected. I turned to see Linda Martinez walking toward me, a small boy holding her hand. I heard you might be here. It takes me a moment to place her the other woman from Nora's photos, another of Thompson's victims. She looks healthier than Karen, more put-together, but there's the same wariness in her eyes. Linda, I didn't know you had a son. This is Ethan. He's 6. She watches him run off to join the younger kids playing by the playground. Born 8 months after my release. The math is easy enough. Thompson's child, though she doesn't say it outright. Nora Chen said you were looking into Bryce, she says quietly, eyes on the soccer game. I told her I wouldn't talk, but then I saw you here with your daughter, and I thought maybe you'd understand. Understand what? What it's like to love someone who chooses him over you. She glances at me. Your wife is making the same mistake I did, thinking she's special, that he loves her. He doesn't love anyone. He collects us. Like trophies? Like assets. Each woman serves a purpose. Some move money, some provide sex, some give him leverage over other inmates. Your wife? She pauses. Your wife is his masterpiece. Smart, beautiful, connected. A lawyer's wife who already knows how to move money illegally. She's everything he's been looking for. You sound like you've given this a lot of thought. I have a son who looks just like his father in a restraining order that's barely worth the paper it's printed on. I think about Bryce Thompson every damn day. She turns to face me fully. He won't let her go, you know. Even after her release. Especially after her release. She's too valuable. What can I do? Honestly? Either get her transferred to another facility or divorce her. Those are your only options. And even transfer might not work. He has connections throughout the system. You got away. I had his baby. That changed the dynamic, made me less appealing, more complicated. Your wife. She looks at Rachel running down the field. She's already got a kid. He doesn't want more. He just wants her. We stand in silence watching our children play. Normal parents at a normal Saturday soccer game, except for the shadow of federal prison hanging over everything. There's something else, Linda says as the game winds down. Something Nora doesn't know. Bryce isn't working alone. There's a whole network, guards, administrators, even some people on the outside. Your wife isn't just involved with him. She's involved with all of them. How do you know? Because I was too. And once you're in, you don't get out. She calls to her son, who comes running. Be careful, Simon. These people don't play games. She walks away before I can ask more questions, leaving me with more fear than answers. Rachel's team loses 32, but she scored a goal, and that's all that matters in her world. We go for ice cream after, and I watch her attack a hot fudge sundae while chattering about her friends, her teacher, the book she's reading about a girl who discovers she can talk to horses. Normal. We're so good at pretending to be normal. That night, Marcus Webb calls. His voice is tense, scared. Mr. Hartley? I'm sorry to bother you, but something's happened. What's wrong? Miguel Reyes, the witness who was going to testify about Thompson, he's dead. My blood runs cold. What happened? Official story is suicide, hung himself in his cell. But Mr. Hartley, Miguel was 2 weeks from release. Had a job lined up, family waiting. No way he killed himself. Where are you now? Motel outside Albany. I got spooked after I heard about Miguel. Figured I should lay low. Stay there. Don't tell anyone where you are. I'll call you back. I hang up and immediately call Nora. She answers on the second ring, alert despite the late hour. We have a problem, I tell her about Miguel Reyes. Shit. Okay, this changes things. If they're willing to kill to protect the operation, we need to be very careful. Is your house secure? I think about Rachel sleeping upstairs. I have an alarm system. Not enough. I'm sending someone over tonight, private security, just as a precaution. You really think... I think Miguel Reyes is dead because he was willing to testify about Thompson. You're building a case against him. Do the math. After she hangs up, I check every lock, every window. Then I go upstairs and look in on Rachel. She's sleeping peacefully, one arm around the stuffed elephant Melissa gave her last Christmas. I sit on the edge of her bed and watch her breathe. What have I gotten us into? In trying to save my wife, have I put our daughter in danger? My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. Stop digging or she pays the price. I stare at the message, fear and anger warring in my chest. She could mean Melissa or Rachel. Either way, the threat is clear. Another text. Thompson says hello. I screenshot both messages and forward them to Nora. Then I go to my closet, to the safe where I keep the gun I bought years ago, but never used. I load it, check the safety, and put it in my nightstand drawer. I don't sleep that night. I sit in the chair by Rachel's door, listening to every creak of the house, every car that passes outside. By morning, I've made my decision. I'm not stopping. They threaten my family. In my world, that's a declaration of war. But first, I need to see exactly how deep Melissa is in this. No more pretending, no more hoping she's just a victim. I need the truth, even if it destroys what's left of us. Because Rachel's safety comes first. Always. And if Melissa has chosen Thompson over us, then she's chosen her side in this war. I just pray I'm wrong about which side that his Sunday morning comes with rain that turns the drive upstate into a meditation on poor visibility and hydroplaning semis. Rachel sits in the back, unusually quiet, her new bracelet catching the light every time she moves her hand. You okay, baby girl? Yeah, but she doesn't sound okay. She sounds like a kid who's learned to swallow her worries to avoid burdening the adults. You know you can tell me anything, right? I know. A pause. Daddy, is Mommy in trouble? I glance at her in the rearview mirror. What makes you ask that? Madison's mom got in trouble for having a phone she wasn't supposed to have. She can't have visitors for a month. And Sarah Chen said her aunt got moved to a different prison because she broke the rules. The network of prison kids sharing intelligence. They probably know more about the system than most lawyers. I don't know, sweetheart. We'll find out when we see her. But I do know. The text last night, Miguel Reyes dead. Thompson's name like a poison spreading through every aspect of our lives. Melissa is in trouble so deep she might never surface. The visiting room feels different today, charged. Other families conduct their weekly rituals around us, but there's a current of tension I can't quite place. Guards seem more alert, conversations more subdued. Melissa enters looking exhausted. The glow from last week is gone, replaced by something haunted. She hugs Rachel fiercely, holds her longer than usual. "My beautiful girl," she whispers. "My beautiful, beautiful girl." When they finally separate, I see tears on Melissa's face, real tears, not the performative emotion she's mastered over the years. "Are you okay, Mommy?" Rachel asks, concerned. "I'm fine, sweetheart. Just missing you extra much today." We sit at our usual table, bolted down furniture, scratched surface, the accumulated desperation of 1,000 family visits etched into the laminate. Melissa keeps touching Rachel's face, her hair, like she's trying to memorize her. "I need to talk to Daddy alone for just a minute," Melissa finally says. "Can you go get us some snacks from the vending machine?" I give Rachel money and watch her skip across the room, bracelet glinting. When she's out of earshot, Melissa leans forward. "You need to stop." "Stop what?" "Don't play dumb, Simon. I know what you're doing. I know about the investigator, about Marcus Webb, about all of it. You need to stop before someone gets hurt." "Someone already got hurt. Miguel Reyes is dead." Her face goes white. That was a suicide." "Was it? Just like Karen Walsh voluntarily moved to California? Just like Linda Martinez chose to have Thompson's baby?" "You don't understand." "Then explain it to me. Make me understand why my wife is laundering money for a corrupt guard. Make me understand why you're willing to risk everything for a man who collects women like baseball cards." "It's not like that." "No? Then what's it like, Melissa? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you're repeating the same pattern. First Harvey, now Thompson. Who's next?" She flinches like I've slapped her. "Harvey was different." "Right. Harvey was going to take you to Costa Rica. What's Thompson promising? Mexico? The Caribbean? Or is he more creative than that?" "Stop it. I read the emails, Melissa, all of them. I know what you and Harvey were planning. I know you were going to frame me for infidelity, take Rachel, disappear with the money. Was any of our marriage real, or was I just another mark?" She's crying now, real tears that she doesn't try to hide. "It wasn't supposed to happen like this." "What wasn't? Getting caught, going to prison, or falling for another manipulator who tells you what you want to hear?" "You don't know what it's like in here." The words explode out of her. "You don't know what it's like to be afraid every single day, to need protection, to be grateful for any kindness, even when you know it comes with a price. You sit in your comfortable office with your comfortable life and judge me for doing what I have to do to survive." "Survive? Is that what we're calling it? Because it looks a lot like voluntary participation to me." She looks around, checking who might be listening. "You need to stop investigating Thompson, for Rachel's sake." "Are you threatening our daughter?" "I'm trying to protect her. These people don't mess around, Simon. They have reach outside these walls. If you keep pushing, if you keep digging. She shakes her head. Just stop. Please. File for divorce. Take Rachel. Move somewhere far away. Forget I exist. I can't do that. Why not? You know the truth now. You know what I am, what I've done. Why can't you just let me go? I think about last night, sitting by Rachel's door with a loaded gun, about the promises I made when she was born, that I'd protect her from everything. About the wedding vows I took, for better or worse, even though I never imagined how bad the worst could get. Because Rachel needs her mother, even if that mother is. I can't finish the sentence. A criminal, a cheater, a failure, Melissa supplies. I'm all of those things, Simon, but I'm also trying to keep our daughter safe. If that means staying with Thompson, if that means doing things that disgust you, then that's what I'll do. There has to be another way. There isn't. She looks over at Rachel, who's carefully feeding bills into the vending machine. I made my choices. Harvey, the money, all of it. And now I'm paying for those choices. But Rachel doesn't have to pay for them too. Take her and go. Start fresh somewhere Thompson can't reach. I'm not running. Then you're a fool. She says it sadly, like she's mourning my stupidity. Thompson owns this place. The warden, half the guards, even some of the inmates. You can't fight that. No one can. We'll see about that. Rachel returns with an armload of snacks, chips, candy, a sad-looking sandwich in plastic wrap. She distributes them like treasures, chattering about the choices she made, oblivious to the wait between her parents. We spend the rest of the visit pretending everything's normal. Melissa helps Rachel with her times tables. I tell sanitized stories from court. We're a family playing family, and we're getting good at it. When it's time to go, Melissa holds Rachel extra long again, whispers something in her ear that makes Rachel nod solemnly. Then she looks at me over our daughter's head. Remember what I said. Please. The ride home is quiet. Rachel stares out the window, playing with her bracelet. Finally, she speaks. Mommy said I should be extra good, that I should listen to you and not give you any trouble. You're always good, baby girl. She said she might not see us for a while, that she might have to go away. My hands tighten on the steering wheel. She said that? She said sometimes adults have to do hard things to protect the people they love, and that no matter what happens, she loves me to the moon and back and around the stars. The same phrase she's used since Rachel was a baby, our little bedtime ritual, now a goodbye. She loves you very much, I manage. I know. But she's scared, I could tell. Her hands were shaking. 9 years old and reading the room better than most adults. I want to reassure her, tell her everything will be fine. But the lies stick in my throat. Sometimes adults get scared too, I say instead. But we'll figure it out. We always do. Okay. She goes back to looking out the window. Then, so quietly I almost miss it. Daddy, are we safe? The question I've been dreading. Yes, baby, we're safe. Promise? I promise. But promises are just words, and words can't stop bullets or protect against the kind of people who kill witnesses in their cells. As we drive through the rain toward home, I make a different kind of promise, silent and fierce. I'll keep her safe no matter what it costs, even if the price is Melissa. That evening, Nora calls with updates. The security detail she promised is in place, 2 ex-military guys who blend into the neighborhood like they've always been there. One sits in a car down the street. The other walks a dog past our house every hour. There's more, she says. I dug into Thompson's financials. He's not just moving drug money. There are connections to human trafficking, weapons, even some ties to organized crime upstate. Your wife isn't just mixed up with a corrupt guard. She's mixed up with a criminal enterprise that goes all the way to the top. How is this possible? How does this happen in a federal facility? Money, power, fear, the same way it happens everywhere else. Thompson is smart. He keeps just enough distance to maintain plausible deniability. Uses the women as cutouts, never directly touches the money or product. If anyone gets caught, it's them, not him. And Melissa? She's in deep, deeper than the others. The amounts moving through her accounts have tripled in the past 6 months. Either she's very good at this or Thompson trusts her more than his other associates. I think about Melissa's tears today. her insistence that I take Rachel and run. I think she wants out. Of course she does. They all want out eventually. But wanting and getting are two different things. Thompson doesn't let his assets go easily. What if we could flip her? Get her to testify? Testify to what? Any decent lawyer would tear her apart on the stand. Convicted felon, admitted liar, sleeping with the man she's accusing. And that's assuming she lives long enough to testify. There has to be something we can do. There is. You can take your daughter and disappear. Start over somewhere Thompson can't reach. It's not ideal, but it keeps you both alive. I'm not running. Then you better be prepared to fight. And I mean really fight. These people don't play by legal rules. They won't come at you in court. They'll come at you where you're vulnerable. After we hang up, I check all the locks again. The security guy with the dog passes by right on schedule. Normal neighborhood, normal evening, except for the armed guards and loaded gun in my nightstand. I'm putting Rachel to bed when she asks, "Can we get a dog?" Where did that come from? There's a man who walks his dog past our house a lot. The dog looks nice. And dogs protect people, right? Even she's noticed the security. Kids see everything, file it away, make their own connections. We'll think about it, I say, which is parent speak for probably not, but I don't want to argue right now. Okay. She settles into her pillows. Daddy, I love you to the moon and back and around the stars. Melissa's phrase from her lips. I kiss her forehead. I love you too, baby girl. More than all the stars in the universe. That's a lot of stars. That's a lot of love. She smiles and closes her eyes. I stay until her breathing evens out, then go to my office and open my laptop. If I'm going to fight, I need weapons. Legal weapons, but weapons nonetheless. I start building a RICO case. Racketeering, money laundering, corruption, murder. The kind of case that brings down entire organizations, not just individuals. It's ambitious, probably impossible, but it's what I have. My phone buzzes. Another unknown number. Last warning. Back off or lose everything. I screenshot it, add it to the file. Then I text back, come at me, see what happens. Maybe it's stupid, poking the bear like that. But I'm tired of being threatened, tired of playing defense. If they want a war, they'll get one. I work until dawn, building the case that will either save my family or destroy it. Outside, the security guy makes another pass with his dog. The rain has stopped, but storm clouds still hover on the horizon. Something's coming. I can feel it in the air, in the tension that followed us home from the prison, in Melissa's tears and Rachel's questions. The calm before everything goes to hell. But I'm ready. Or at least, I'm as ready as anyone can be when they're about to take on an entire criminal organization with nothing but the law and stubborn determination. I close my laptop as the sun rises, painting the sky the color of fresh bruises. Somewhere upstate, my wife is waking up in a cell, owned by a man who collects women like commodities. She made her choices. Now I have to make mine. For Rachel. Always for Rachel. The wire feels like a live snake against my chest, cold and foreign under my dress shirt. FBI agent Carol Davies adjusts it one more time, her fingers efficient and impersonal. Remember, we need clear admissions. Don't lead her too much, let her talk. Criminals love to brag when they think they're safe. She's not a criminal, I say automatically, even though the evidence suggests otherwise. She's my wife. Davies gives me a look that's part pity, part professional assessment. She's both, Mr. Hartley. That's what makes this so hard. We're in a van parked 3 blocks from my house. 2 other agents monitor equipment that looks like it belongs in a spy movie. Everything's being recorded, backed up, prepared for court. My life has become evidence. You sure you're ready for this? Davies asks. No, but I'm doing it anyway. Good man. Remember natural conversation. Don't push too hard or she'll get suspicious. I nod, check my watch. Melissa thinks I'm at a deposition in Boston. Won't be back until late tomorrow. Instead, I'm about to walk into my own house and trap the mother of my child. Let's go over the signals one more time, Davies says. If you feel threatened, touch my ear twice, I know. We'll be right outside. First sign of trouble, we're coming in. I think about Melissa with a knife, the way she screamed that I'd destroyed everything. Define trouble. Physical violence, weapon presentation, any immediate threat. Otherwise, let it play out. We need this confession. The walk to my house feels both endless and too short. My key sounds too loud in the lock. Inside, I hear music Norah Jones, the album we danced to at our wedding. The irony isn't lost on me. Simon? Melissa's voice from the kitchen, surprised but not alarmed. I thought you were in Boston. Deposition got postponed. I walk in to find her cooking dinner. She's wearing jeans and one of my old Yale sweatshirts, hair pulled back, looking like the woman I fell in love with 15 years ago. Smells good. Just pasta. Nothing fancy. She doesn't meet my eyes. Rachel's at your mother's? Yeah. Figured I'd give you some space to readjust. She nods, stirring the sauce. We're dancing around each other. Two people who used to share everything now reduced to small talk in our own kitchen. Wine? She offers. Sure. She pours 2 glasses of the Malbec we discovered on our anniversary trip to Argentina. Another memory turned painful. We sip in silence while she finishes cooking. We need to talk, I finally say. I know. She plates the pasta, hands me mine. Let's eat first. I'm not good at difficult conversations on an empty stomach. We eat quietly. The pasta is perfect. She always was a better cook than me. I think about all the meals we've shared, all the conversations across this table. Rachel's first solid food. The night we decided to try for another baby before the arrests and trials made that impossible. How's Thompson? I ask casually. She stiffens. I wouldn't know. I haven't seen him since my release. Really? Because his truck was here 3 nights ago. She sets down her fork carefully. You're having me watched? I'm protecting my family. From what? From me? She laughs, but it's bitter. I'm not the threat here, Simon. Then who is? You really want to know? You want to understand what you've gotten us into? She drinks deeply from her wine. Thompson isn't just some corrupt guard, he's connected. Organized crime, cartels, people who make Harvey look like a shoplifter. And you've made him angry. By exposing his crimes? By threatening his operation. Do you know how much money flows through that prison? Millions. And you're fucking with that because you can't accept that your wife did what she had to do to survive. Is that what we're calling it? Survival? Yes. She looks at me directly for the first time. That's exactly what we're calling it. And the money in your commissary account? The phones? The meetings with Harvey's associates? That's all survival, too? Her face changes, calculating now. You've been thorough. I'm a lawyer. It's what I do. No, what you do is judge people from your position of safety. You've never been helpless, Simon. Never been at someone else's complete mercy. You don't know what you'd do in that situation. I wouldn't betray my family. Wouldn't you? She leans forward. If someone had the power to hurt Rachel, if protecting her meant doing things that disgusted you, tell me honestly, what wouldn't you do? It's a good point, and she knows it. But I need more than philosophical debates. I need admissions. So you admit you've been moving money for Thompson? I admit I did what I had to do, just like with Harvey. There it is. I keep my face neutral even as my heart rate spikes. What do you mean? Just like with Harvey? She realizes her mistake immediately, but it's too late. The wine, the stress, the false sense of security in our home, it's all working against her. Nothing. I misspoke. No, you didn't. You said just like with Harvey. Meaning what? That you weren't his victim? Simon, were you ever going to tell me? Or was I supposed to go on believing I'd saved you when really I'd just enabled you? She's quiet for a long moment. Then, you want the truth? Fine. Harvey and I were partners. The embezzlement was my idea. I saw an opportunity and took it. My hands are steady as I pour more wine, even though inside I'm screaming. Why? Because I was tired of being the good wife, the supportive spouse, the one who sacrificed her career so you could build yours. I was tired of PTA meetings and soccer practices and pretending to care about your boring colleagues' boring wives. So you decided to steal $3 million and frame your boss? I decided to take control of my life. Harvey was a means to an end. We were going to disappear, start over somewhere warm where Rachel could have a better life. Without me. You were never supposed to find out. The plan was to make it look like I'd been kidnapped, maybe killed. You'd mourn, move on, find someone more suitable. Everyone wins. The casual cruelty of it takes my breath away. Everyone wins. Rachel loses her mother. I lose my wife. But everyone wins. Rachel would have been with me. And you? She shrugs. You'd have been free to work 18-hour days without guilt. Is that really what you think of me? That I'd be happier with you dead? I think you're happier with the idea of me than the reality. The perfect wife, the tragic victim, the woman who needs saving. But that's not who I am, Simon. It never was. I stand up, needing distance. The wire feels like it's burning through my skin. In the van, agents are getting everything. My marriage isn't just ending, it's being documented for federal court. So Thompson, I say, looking out the window. Another means to an end? Thompson was survival at first, but then... She pauses. Have you ever had someone see you for exactly what you are and want you anyway? Not despite your flaws, but because of them? I thought I did, with you. No, you saw what you wanted to see. The girl from your law school study group who needed rescuing from her bad choices. You never saw the person who made those choices deliberately. And Thompson does. Thompson understands ambition. He understands wanting more than what the world allows you. We're the same. You're nothing alike. He's a predator who targets vulnerable women. She laughs, actually laughs. Is that what his other girls told you? Let me guess, Karen Walsh? Linda Martinez? They played victim because it's easier than admitting they were willing participants, just like I did with Harvey. Linda had his baby. Linda got pregnant to lock him down. Oldest trick in the book. When it didn't work, she cried, "Rape!" She stands, moves closer. You still don't get it, do you? We're not victims, Simon. We're volunteers. Every woman in that prison who works with Thompson chooses to. The money, the protection, the power, it's worth more than dignity when dignity is all you have left. And after? When you're out? What's worth more then? Freedom. Real freedom. Not this. She gestures around our kitchen. 3.5 years of checking in with a parole officer, pissing in cups, pretending to be reformed. Thompson has plans. Mexico first, then further south. New identities, new lives, all that money we've been saving. We? You're planning to run with him? Why do you think I've been moving so much money? It's not just his retirement fund, it's mine too. Ours. And Rachel? For the first time, something flickers in her eyes. Regret, maybe, or just annoyance at a complication. Rachel has you. She'll be fine. You'd abandon your daughter for a corrupt prison guard? I'd leave my daughter with her father rather than drag her into a life on the run. It's the most maternal thing I've done. I turn to face her fully. Harvey's still sending you messages, still planning. Is Thompson aware his girlfriend is playing both sides? Her face hardens. Be very careful, Simon. Or what? You'll have me killed? Like Miguel Reyes? Miguel was a rat. Rats don't last long inside or out. So you knew about it. Everyone knew. Thompson made sure of that. It's what happens to people who interfere. She moves closer, and I resist the urge to touch my ear. But you're not going to interfere anymore, are you? You're going to take Rachel and disappear. Maybe Seattle, you always liked it there. Start fresh. Forget you ever knew me. I can't do that. Can't or won't. Both. She sighs, steps back. Then you're a fool, and fools don't last long either. Is that a threat? It's a reality. You think your FBI friends can protect you? Thompson has people everywhere. Guards, cops, even a few judges. You're playing a game you can't win. We'll see about that. No, you won't see. That's the point. One day you'll just not wake up. Or Rachel will have an accident at school. Or your mother will have a tragic fall. That's how these people work, Simon. They don't come at you directly. They take what you love. Like they took you? Nobody took me. I went willingly. She picks up her wine glass, drains it. You should go. Pack some things. Get Rachel. Leave tonight. I'll tell Thompson you're no longer a problem. I'm not going anywhere. Then you're signing your own death warrant. And Rachel's. The threat to our daughter finally does it. I touch my ear twice, the signal that things have escalated. But Melissa catches the gesture and her eyes narrow. You're wearing a wire. It's not a question. Melissa? She throws the wine glass at my head. I duck and it shatters against the wall behind me. You fucking bastard! You came into our home, Our bed, wearing a wire. You just threatened our daughter. I was trying to save her. She grabs a knife from the block. How many are listening? How many agents are outside right now? Put the knife down. Answer me! The front door explodes open. Federal agents pour in, weapons drawn, shouting commands. Melissa spins toward them, knife still in hand, and for a horrible moment, I think they're going to shoot her in our kitchen. Drop the weapon! Drop it now! She looks at me, tears streaming down her face. You did this. Remember that. Everything that happens now is on you. She drops the knife. It clatters on the tile as agents swarm her, forcing her to the ground. I hear the cuffs click, hear them reading her rights, but all I can see is the look in her eyes. Not fear or anger anymore, just hate. Harvey was right about you, she says as they pull her up. You're nothing but a self-righteous prick who gets off on being the hero. Well, congratulations, hero. You just signed our death warrants. They drag her out and I'm left standing in our kitchen, wine dripping down the wall, the ghost of our life together finally exorcised. Agent Davies appears, carefully removing the wire. You did good, she says. We got everything. Did I? I look around the kitchen where we cooked family dinners, helped with homework, lived our lie of a life. Feels like I just lost everything. You lost it a long time ago, Mr. Hartley. You just didn't know it yet. She's right, of course. But knowing doesn't make it easier. I think about Rachel, safe at my mother's, unaware that her world just shifted on its axis again. How do I explain this? How do I tell her that Mommy chose a criminal over us? We'll need you to come to the office. Give a full statement, Davies says. What about Thompson? SWAT's moving on him now. With your wife's confession and the evidence we've gathered, he's done. I nod, but something nags at me. She seems scared, not of prison, of something else. These people Thompson works with. We'll protect you and your daughter. That's a promise. But promises are just words, and I've learned how little those can mean. As I follow Davies out of my house, I take one last look at the kitchen. The pasta's still on the table, getting cold. The wine bottle stands half empty. Normal dinner interrupted by federal agents and confessions of betrayal. This morning I was a husband trying to save his wife. Tonight I'm a witness in a federal case that might get us killed. The transformation is complete, but unlike Melissa's, mine wasn't voluntary. Mr. Hartley? Davies is waiting by the door. You ready? Yeah, I lie, and follow her into the night where Melissa's prophecy waits to unfold. The federal building downtown never sleeps. Even at midnight, there are agents working, phones ringing, justice grinding forward one case at a time. I sit in an interview room that looks exactly like every interview room everywhere: gray walls, metal table, uncomfortable chairs designed to make you want to leave. Let's go through it again, Agent Davies says. She looks as tired as I feel, but her voice stays professional. When did you first suspect your wife was involved with Thompson? We've been at this for 3 hours. Every detail, every conversation, every moment that led to tonight. My throat is raw from talking, but they need it all for the case they're building. About 6 months ago, she mentioned him too often, too casually, the way you talk about someone you're trying not to think about. And the money? I noticed irregularities in our joint account about 4 months ago, small deposits that didn't match any legitimate source. Why didn't you report it then? The question I've been asking myself. Because she's my wife, was my wife. I wanted to be wrong. Davies nods, makes another note. Through the window, I can see other agents moving with purpose. Something's happening. Excuse me. Davies steps out, has a hurried conversation in the hall. When she returns, her face is grim. Thompson's in the wind. What? Someone tipped him off. By the time SWAT arrived, he was gone. Cleared out his apartment, his storage unit, everything. Melissa's words echo. Thompson has people everywhere. She warned him. Somehow she warned him. That's impossible. She's been in custody since we arrested her. Then someone else did. She said he has people throughout the system. I lean forward. Agent Davies, my daughter, already has protection. 2 agents are with your mother and Rachel right now. My phone buzzes. Unknown number. Davies nods and I answer. Simon. Thompson's voice is calm, almost pleasant. I hear you've been busy tonight. Davies signals frantically to keep him talking while another agent starts a trace. Thompson, please call me Bryce. We're practically family now, after all. How's Melissa? Comfortable in federal custody? What do you want? What I've always wanted. What was mine? You've interfered with my business, Simon. Cost me money, cost me personnel. That needs to be addressed. If you're threatening me. Threatening. No, I'm negotiating. See, you have something I want, and I have something you need. Which is, your daughter's safety. My blood turns to ice. If you touch her, relax, Rachel's fine. Sleeping soundly at 4,827 Maple Drive. Your mother's house. Nice place. The kitchen window doesn't lock properly, did you know that? I look at Davies, who's on another phone, barking orders. I can fix that problem, Thompson continues. Keep your family safe. All you have to do is convince Melissa to stay quiet. No testimony, no cooperation. She keeps her mouth shut, does her time like a good soldier, and everyone lives happily ever after. She's already confessed. It's over. Confessions can be recanted. Wires can malfunction. Evidence can disappear. Nothing's over until I say it is. His voice hardens. You have 24 hours to convince her. After that, well, accidents happen. Kids are so fragile, aren't they? The line goes dead. I'm on my feet, ready to drive to my mother's, but Davies stops me. We've got agents there. They're safe. He knew the address, knew about the window. We're moving them to a secure location tonight, you too. This is insane. How does a prison guard have this kind of power? He's not just a guard. We've been building a case against his network for 2 years. Your wife's confession is the break we needed, but it also means you're all targets now. Then put us in witness protection. That's an option. But think about what that means: new identities, new city, no contact with anyone from your old life. Rachel would lose everything she knows. I sink back into the chair. This morning, my biggest worry was explaining Melissa's arrest to our daughter. Now I have to decide whether to erase her entire life to keep her safe. There's another option, Davies says carefully. We could use you. Use me how? Thompson's running scared. Scared people make mistakes. If you stay visible, keep practicing law, living your life, he might get desperate enough to come after you directly. You want to use me as bait. We want to catch him before he disappears completely. Once he's in custody, the threat diminishes significantly. And if he sends someone after Rachel instead? We'll have protection on her 24/7, best agents we have. I think about my daughter, about the life we've built, about the promise I made to always keep her safe. I need to see her. Tonight. Of course. We'll take you to the safe house. As we leave the federal building, I spot news vans already gathering. Someone leaked the story: prominent lawyer's wife arrested in prison corruption scandal. By morning, it'll be everywhere. Rachel's classmates will see it. Their parents will whisper, our private catastrophe will become public entertainment. My daughter's going to be crucified at school, I say. We can arrange homeschooling for a while. Private tutors, whatever she needs. Another normal thing stripped away. Another casualty of Melissa's choices. The safe house is a nondescript apartment in a building full of identical units. My mother answers the door, looking older than her 70 years. Behind her, Rachel sleeps on the couch, still in her school clothes. Simon. My mother pulls me into a hug. What have we gotten into? I don't know, Mom. I honestly don't know. I kneel beside Rachel, brush her hair back from her face. She stirs but doesn't wake, and I'm grateful. How do I explain that Mommy's in jail again, that bad men want to hurt us, that we might have to leave everything behind? Let her sleep, my mother whispers. Tomorrow's soon enough for hard truths. But tomorrow feels like a luxury we might not have. Somewhere out there, Thompson is planning his next move. Melissa is in a cell, probably already working on her recantation, and I'm sitting in a strange apartment watching my daughter sleep, wondering if I've saved her or doomed her. The agent by the window shifts slightly, hand near his weapon. Another covers the rear entrance. This is our life now: guards and guns and constant vigilance. I think about Melissa's transformation, how prison changed her, or maybe just revealed who she always was. Now it's our turn to transform, to become people who live in safe houses and look over their shoulders. You should try to sleep, my mother says. You look exhausted. But sleep feels impossible. Every time I close my eyes, I see Melissa with that knife, hear Thompson's voice promising accidents, imagine Rachel's window sliding open in the night. I'll sleep when this is over, I tell her. If it's ever over. If we survive it. In the distance, sirens wail through the city. Someone else's emergency, someone else's life falling apart. But tonight, selfishly, I'm glad it's not ours. We've had enough catastrophe for one day. Rachel shifts in her sleep, mumbles something about math homework. Such a normal worry in such an abnormal night. I pull a blanket over her, promise silently to keep her normal concerns normal as long as I can. But promises are just words, and I've learned how little those can mean. Star lawyer's wife in prison love triangle. The headline screams from every newsstand, every phone screen, every television in every waiting room in the city. They've got photos Melissa's mugshot from her first arrest, Thompson in his uniform looking official, me leaving the federal building with the kind of exhausted expression that sells papers. Daddy, why is Mommy on TV? Rachel stands in the doorway of the safe house kitchen, rubbing sleep from her eyes. She's wearing her favorite unicorn pajamas, the ones Melissa bought her last Christmas. The last normal Christmas we'll ever have. Come here, baby girl. I turn off the television, but it's too late. She's seen enough. Is Mommy in trouble again? Yes, sweetheart, she is. Bad trouble? I pull her onto my lap, trying to find words that won't scar her. Remember when we talked about choices? How sometimes people make bad choices. She nods solemnly. Like when I took Madison's candy without asking. Similar but bigger. Mommy made some big bad choices and now she has to face the consequences. Is that why there are police outside? Mrs. Chen saw them when she walked her dog. Nothing gets past kids. They're here to keep us safe while everything gets sorted out. Safe from what? The question every parent dreads. How do you explain human evil to someone who still believes in unicorns and fairy godmothers? From some people who are angry about Mommy's choices. But we're safe here, I promise. She's quiet for a moment, processing in that way children do, filing information into categories that make sense to her 9-year-old worldview. Can I still see her? Not right now, baby. Maybe later. Okay. She slides off my lap. Can I have Cocoa Puffs? The resilience of children. Their mother is on every news channel. We're living in a safe house with armed guards, and she wants breakfast cereal. I pour her a bowl, grateful for this small normalcy. My phone buzzes. Jack Brennan, senior partner at my firm. Simon, I'm watching the news. What the hell is going on? It's complicated, Jack. Uncomplicated. The phones are ringing off the hook. Clients are nervous. We need to control this narrative. I can't comment on an ongoing federal investigation. Then we need to discuss your future with the firm. Can you come in? I look at Rachel, happily crunching cereal while an FBI agent stands guard by our window. I'll have to bring security. Jesus Christ. Yes, fine. Just get here. We need damage control. The offices of Hartley, Brennan, and Associates haven't changed, but everything feels different. The receptionist, who usually greets me with a smile, now looks at me like I might be contagious. Colleagues duck into offices to avoid conversation. The security I brought Agent Mills, who looks like he could bench press a car, doesn't help the atmosphere. Simon. Jack Brennan sits behind his massive desk, the one that cost more than most people's cars. To his left is Patricia Wong, the firm's PR specialist. To his right, David Ashford from Legal Ethics. This isn't a meeting, it's a tribunal. Sit, please. I take the chair across from them, feeling like a first-year associate again. We need to discuss the impact of recent events on the firm, Jack begins. Your wife's arrest, the federal investigation, the media attention, it's becoming a liability. My personal life has no bearing on my professional capabilities. Normally, I'd agree. But when federal agents are serving warrants based on your wife's criminal activities, when you're wearing wires to family dinners, when you need armed guards to visit the office that affects the firm. Patricia slides a tablet across the desk. Social media is brutal. Our firm's reputation being shredded in real time. Clients questioning whether their files are safe with us. Competitors circling like sharks. I've been with this firm for 15 years, I say. I've brought in millions in billable hours. My conviction rate is irrelevant if clients won't hire you. David interrupts. 3 major clients have already requested their files be transferred to other attorneys. They don't want to be associated with this scandal. So what are you saying? Jack sighs, suddenly looking older. We're saying you need to take a leave of absence. Effective immediately. Let this blow over. Get your personal affairs in order. Then we'll revisit. You're suspending me? We're protecting the firm and, frankly, protecting you. The names being mentioned in this investigation, Thompson, the Chen organization, possible cartel connections, these aren't people you cross lightly. Having you here puts everyone at risk. I want to argue, to fight, to remind them of everything I've done for this firm. But he's right. My presence is toxic now. How long? 6 months minimum. Longer if necessary. We'll maintain your health insurance given the circumstances. But you'll need to transition your cases immediately. What about my clients? Patricia will draft a statement. Family emergency requiring extended leave. We'll assure them their cases are in capable hands. 15 years reduced to a press release. I stand to leave. Simon, Jack says, not unkindly. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. You're a hell of a lawyer, but right now, you need to focus on being a father. Keep that little girl safe. I intend to. The walkout feels like a funeral march. My assistant, Amy, is packing my office when I arrive. She's been crying. I'm so sorry, Mr. Hartley. This isn't fair. Life rarely is. I pick up the photo from my desk, Rachel at last year's science fair, beaming beside her volcano. Make sure everything goes to the right people. The Morrison brief needs to be filed by Thursday. I'll handle it. She pauses. For what it's worth, I never believed what they're saying about you. You're a good man. Good men can make bad choices, too. Maybe, but protecting your daughter isn't one of them. Agent Mills clears his throat. We need to go. There are too many windows here, too many angles for a shooter. My life has become a series of tactical assessments. Back at the safe house, I find Nora Chen in the living room with my mother and Rachel. She's brought coloring books and somehow gotten Rachel to laugh a sound I haven't heard in days. Mr. Hartley. She stands, professional despite the crayons in her hand. We need to talk. My mother reads the room. Rachel, let's go make cookies in the kitchen. I think Agent Sarah would like some too. Once they're gone, Nora pulls out a thick folder. Melissa's hidden accounts. We found 12 more. 12? Scattered across 3 countries. Total value, approximately $2.3 million. All deposited in the last 18 months. I sink into the couch. That's impossible. Where would she get that kind of money? Thompson's operation is bigger than we thought. Drugs, weapons, human trafficking. Your wife wasn't just moving money, she was managing it, investing it, growing it. You're saying she was his CFO? More like partner. These transactions show sophisticated financial knowledge, the kind you'd expect from someone who worked at a bank. Melissa's words echo. We're the same. I'd thought she meant ambition. Now I wonder if she meant something darker. There's more, Nora continues. We found correspondence between Melissa and someone called the accountant. High-level discussions about expansion, territory, eliminating competition. Competition? Other criminal organizations. Your wife was helping plan a war, Mr. Hartley. I think about the woman I married, the one who cried at sappy movies and couldn't kill spiders. How does someone go from that to planning criminal warfare? Can we freeze the accounts? Already done. But here's the problem. Thompson knows we have her. He's going to want his money back. And if he can't get it, she doesn't need to finish. He'll come after us. Or worse. We've intercepted chatter about a contract. Someone's put a price on your head. How much am I worth? $500,000? Rachel's worth another half. $1 million for my family's lives. It's almost insulting how cheap we've become. What do you recommend? Witness protection. New identities. New city. Complete severance from your current life. It's the only way to guarantee safety. And if I refuse? Then we do our best with standard protection. But I won't lie, Thompson has resources. Eventually, he'll find an opening. I look at the kitchen doorway where I can hear Rachel helping my mother measure flour. Can I think about it? Of course. But don't think too long. Every day you stay visible is another day for them to plan. She leaves me with the folder and the weight of impossible decisions. Flip through financial records that map my wife's transformation from soccer mom to criminal mastermind. Each transaction another step away from the woman I thought I knew. My phone rings. The Federal Detention Center. This is a prepaid call from an inmate at... I hang up. Melissa's trying to reach me, probably to deliver whatever message Thompson wants sent. But I'm done being her messenger. Rachel returns with a plate of cookies, still warm from the oven. We made extra for the agents outside. Do you think they get hungry standing around all day? I'm sure they do, baby. She curls up beside me and I can smell her strawberry shampoo mixed with cookie dough. Daddy, are we going to move again? Maybe. Would that be okay? Will I have to change schools? Probably. She considers this. Madison's mom says sometimes starting over is good, like when you mess up a drawing and get a fresh piece of paper. That's a smart way to look at it, but I'll miss my friends. I know, sweetheart. Change is hard. Is it hard for grown-ups too? Especially for grown-ups, we get stuck in our ways. She nods sagely, then brightens. But we'll still be together, right? You and me and Grandma? Always. Then it's okay. Home is where your family is. Mrs. Peterson taught us that. From the mouths of babes. I hug her tighter, this resilient little person who's adapted to armed guards and safe houses with the flexibility only children possess. I love you, baby girl. Love you too, Daddy. To the moon and back. She doesn't add "and around the stars." That was Melissa's part. And even Rachel knows some things are broken beyond repair. That night, I sit with the FBI's witness protection paperwork. New names, new histories, new everything. Simon Hartley, attorney, would cease to exist. We'd become the Johnsons or the Smiths, anonymous refugees from our own lives. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. She needs to talk to you. Please, I delete it. Another. This is bigger than you know. Lives depend on it. Delete. A third. Check your email. Then decide. Against my better judgment, I open my secure email. There's a message from an anonymous account with a video attachment. I shouldn't open it. Every instinct screams danger. I open it anyway. The video is grainy, obviously taken in secret. It shows Thompson in what looks like a warehouse, talking to men I don't recognize. But I can hear him clearly. Hartley's the priority. But the kid we keep, she's leverage for both parents, worth more alive than dead. My blood freezes. They're not planning to kill Rachel. They're planning to take her. The email has text below the video. This is from 2 days ago. They're moving Friday. Your FBI friends can't stop this. They have people inside. Only Melissa knows the full plan. Answer her call. I stare at the screen, processing. Someone inside Thompson's organization sent this. Someone who doesn't want Rachel kidnapped. But why? And can I trust it? Agent Mills appears in the doorway. Sir, you okay? I show him the email. His face goes pale. We need to move you tonight, he says, already on his radio. This is credible intel. Someone inside is talking. Who? Does it matter? If they're planning a kidnapping, we need to get you somewhere they can't find. But running feels wrong. We could spend our entire lives running, looking over our shoulders, waiting for Thompson to find us, and he would eventually. Men like him always do. What if we didn't run? I say slowly. What if we used this? Sir? They're planning to take Rachel on Friday. That's 3 days. What if we let them think their plan is working? You want to use your daughter as bait? He looks at me like I've lost my mind. Maybe I have. No, I want to end this. Set a trap. Catch them in the act. That's insane. Is it? How long do we run? How many times do we uproot Rachel's life? At some point, we have to fight back. He's shaking his head, but I can see him thinking. I'd have to run it up the chain, and we'd need your wife's cooperation. If she really knows their plan, then I need to take her call. Mr. Hartley. My daughter's life is at stake. I'll talk to whoever I have to. He nods slowly. I'll make the arrangements, but sir, if this goes wrong... I know. But what choice do I have? Every option leads to danger. At least this way, we're choosing our battlefield. I look in on Rachel one more time. She's sleeping peacefully, one arm around her stuffed elephant, the cookie plate empty on her nightstand. She ate 3 and gave the rest to the agents, making sure everyone got one. Even facing kidnapping, she thinks of others first. She deserves better than a life in hiding. She deserves a chance to be normal, to grow up without fear, to make friends she won't have to abandon. I'm going to fix this, baby girl, I whisper, one way or another. Tomorrow I'll talk to Melissa. Tomorrow I'll pretend to negotiate with Thompson. Tomorrow I'll risk everything on a plan that could save us or destroy us, but tonight, I watch my daughter sleep and allow myself this moment of peace. Because after tomorrow, peace might be just another casualty of the war we never asked to fight. The Federal Detention Center's visiting room smells like industrial disinfectant and defeat. Melissa sits across from me in orange, her lawyer beside her, not the public defender they assigned, but Gregory Tate, one of the city's most expensive criminal defense attorneys. Thompson's money at work. No recording devices, Tate says, sliding a paper across the table. Attorney-client privilege extends to family legal consultations. Sign this, and we can speak freely. I don't sign it. I'm here as her husband, not her attorney. Ex-husband, soon enough, Melissa says. Her voice is flat, emotionless. But thanks for coming. You said Rachel's in danger. She is. More than you know. She leans forward. Thompson's planning something. I don't know all the details. He kept me compartmentalized, but I know it involves her. Friday. A kidnapping, I know. Her eyes widen slightly. How? I have my sources. Your FBI friends? They can't protect her, Simon. Thompson has people everywhere. Guards, agents, even judges. The only way to keep Rachel safe is to give him what he wants. Which is, me, out, free. She glances at Tate, who nods. I recant my confession, claim coercion. You testify that the FBI pressured you to entrap me. The case falls apart, I walk. Thompson gets his partner back. And then what? You disappear to Mexico with him? I disappear. What happens after that isn't your concern. You're her mother. That makes it my concern. Something flickers in her eyes, pain, maybe, or just annoyance. I stopped being her mother the day I chose Harvey over you. This is just making it official. So that's it? You walk away from her forever? It's the only way to keep her safe. Thompson's obsessed with me, not her. If I'm with him, he has no reason to hurt either of you. Tate interjects. My client is willing to sign away all parental rights in exchange for your cooperation. A clean break. Everyone wins. Everyone wins, I repeat. Where have I heard that before? Melissa flinches. This is different. This is real. Thompson will kill her, Simon, or worse, sell her. Do you know what happens to pretty little American girls in certain markets? The threat is designed to terrify, and it works. But I keep my face neutral. And if I agree, what guarantee do I have that Thompson honors the deal? You don't, she admits. But what choice do you have? Fight him and definitely lose, or trust me and maybe survive. Trust you? You've lied to me for years. I've protected you for years. Do you think Harvey didn't want you dead? Do you think Thompson hasn't had opportunities? You're alive because I've kept you alive. How noble. Fuck you, Simon. The emotion breaks through, finally. You think I wanted this? You think I planned to fall for a psychopath with a badge? I made mistakes, yes. Bad choices, terrible choices. But everything I've done since has been damage control. Including the 2.3 million in hidden accounts? She goes very still. Tate shifts uncomfortably. That money is the only thing keeping us alive, she says finally. It's Thompson's retirement fund. Without it, he has no reason to keep any of us breathing. So it's just about money? It's never just about money. It's about power, respect, fear. Thompson built an empire on those things. The money is just how he keeps score. And you? What's your score? She looks at me for a long moment. 3 years, 7 months, and 12 days. That's how long I pretended to love Harvey to keep you safe. 2 years, 4 months, and 8 days. That's how long I've been Thompson's whore to protect Rachel. My score is measured in time, Simon. Time I've spent letting monsters touch me so my family could sleep safely. The words hang between us, raw and painful. I want to believe her, want to think there's nobility in her betrayal. But I've seen the emails, the plans, the enthusiasm in her crime. You chose this, I say quietly. Every step, you chose this. Yes, she agrees, and I'd choose it again if it meant keeping Rachel safe. That's the difference between us. You believe in justice. I believe in survival. And Thompson? What does he believe in? Nothing. That's what makes him dangerous. He wants things money, power, me, but he doesn't believe in anything. It's all just a game to him. Then let's change the game. She laughs bitterly. You can't change the game. You can only choose whether to play or forfeit. What if there's a third option? There isn't. What if I told you the FBI has someone inside Thompson's organization? Someone who sent me the kidnapping plans? Her face changes, calculating now. Who? I don't know. But someone wants Thompson taken down. Someone close to him. Impossible. He's too careful. Everyone makes mistakes. Even Thompson. She's quiet, thinking. Tate looks nervous, probably calculating how this affects his fee. If you're lying, she starts. I'm not. Someone sent video of Thompson planning Rachel's kidnapping. They want to help. Why? Does it matter? If we can use this, we can't use anything. You still don't get it. She leans back, suddenly looking exhausted. Thompson doesn't just have people everywhere. He is everywhere. The guard watching us right now? 50-50 chance he's on Thompson's payroll. The FBI agent you trust? Maybe he's the one who warned Thompson about the raid. Your new girlfriend, the investigator? How do you know she's not playing you? Because unlike you, some people are actually what they seem. The words hit hard. She recoils, then recovers. Fine. Trust everyone. See where it gets you. She stands. The offer stands, recant your testimony. I walk, Rachel lives. You have until Thursday to decide. And Friday? Friday doesn't matter if you make the right choice Thursday. Tate hands me a card. My number. Call when you're ready to see reason. They leave me sitting alone in the visiting room, staring at the empty chair where my wife just offered to sell her soul for our daughter's safety. Or maybe she sold it long ago, and this is just the final invoice. Outside, Agent Davies waits by the car. How'd it go? She wants me to help her walk. Says it's the only way to protect Rachel. And I'm considering it. She stops walking. You're what? If Thompson gets what he wants, maybe he leaves us alone. Or maybe he kills you anyway. These people don't leave loose ends, Mr. Hartley. Then what do you suggest? We stick to the plan. Use Friday's kidnapping attempt to draw him out. Take him down properly. And if it goes wrong, if he gets Rachel, he won't. We'll have 20 agents on site. Surveillance, snipers, the works. Your daughter will be safer than the president. But the president doesn't have to worry about the Secret Service being on someone else's payroll. We drive back to the safe house in silence, the city passing by in a blur of normal life. People going to work, shopping for groceries, living lives untouched by federal investigations and kidnapping plots. I envy them. At the safe house, I find my mother teaching Rachel chess. They've set up the board on the coffee table, and Rachel is studying it with the same intensity she brings to everything. The knight moves in an L shape, my mother explains. It's the only piece that can jump over others. Like a horse jumping over a fence? Exactly like that. I watch them. This grandmother teaching her granddaughter a game of strategy and patience. Life lessons disguised as entertainment. Daddy! Rachel spots me. Grandma's teaching me chess. She says it's good for developing critical thinking skills. She's right. How's it going? I captured her, Bishop, but I think it was a trap. My mother smiles. Very perceptive. What makes you think that? Because you smiled when I took it. You only smile like that when you're being tricky. They continue their game while I retreat to the kitchen. Agent Mills follows, ever-present shadow. We need to talk about Friday, I say. Already on it. We've identified 3 likely locations for the grab. Rachel's school, the route between here and there, and the park where she has soccer practice. They know about soccer? They know everything, sir. Thompson's had people watching you for months. The violation of it hits fresh. While I was living my life, thinking I was protecting my family, we were under surveillance by criminals. Where do you think they'll move? School's too public, too many witnesses. The park has multiple exit routes, but also too exposed. My money's on the route. Hit your car at a red light, grab her, gone in 60 seconds. So we changed the route. No, we control the route. Pick the intersection, have our people in place. When they move, we close the net. Using my daughter as bait. Using the situation to our advantage. She'll never be in real danger. Famous last words. But what choice do I have? Let them take her on their terms, or control the battlefield. There's another issue, I say. Melissa thinks Thompson has people inside. FBI, local police, maybe even your team. Mill's face hardens. We've considered that. The Friday operation will be need to know. 6 agents total, all personally vetted by Director Hayes. And if one of those 6 is dirty, then we're all fucked anyway. Brutal honesty. I appreciate it even as it terrifies me. Rachel appears in the doorway. Daddy, I won. Grandma says I'm a natural strategist. Strategist, my mother corrects, joining us. And you are. You think 3 moves ahead? Like Daddy in court? Exactly like that. I pick her up, hold her close. She smells like cookies and childhood, innocent of the chess game being played with her life. Hey, baby girl, how would you feel about taking a different way to school on Friday? Why? Just to see new things. Maybe we'll stop for donuts. The good kind with sprinkles? The best kind. She considers this. Okay. But can Agent Sarah come? She likes donuts too. The innocence breaks my heart. Her mother is planning to abandon her forever. Criminals want to kidnap her, and she's worried about including the bodyguard in donut runs. Agent Sarah can definitely come. Cool. She wiggles down. Grandma, want to play again? I want to try a different opening. They return to their game, and I watch Rachel set up the board. Every move deliberate, considered. She's learning to think ahead, to anticipate danger, to protect what matters. Skills she'll need in the life we've given her. Sir? Mills draws my attention to his phone. We've got movement. Thompson's been spotted. Where? Camera caught him 2 blocks from your old house. He's checking your patterns, looking for weaknesses. Find any? Not yet, but he's patient. He'll wait for the right moment. Friday. Friday. I look back at Rachel, now deep in her game. In 3 days, we either end this or lose everything. No pressure. My phone buzzes. Tate's number. Mr. Hartley, I'm calling to clarify my client's offer. Time is running short. I need guarantees. The only guarantee is that refusing ensures tragedy. Except, and at least there's hope. I want it in writing. Thompson agrees to leave us alone, permanently. Any violation, and Melissa testifies against him. I'll convey your terms. But Mr. Hartley, don't mistake negotiation for control. You have neither. He hangs up, leaving me with the illusion of choice. But maybe that's all any of us have, the illusion that our decisions matter, that we control our fate. Checkmate, Rachel crows from the living room. I won again. So you did, my mother says. You're learning fast. Too fast. Childhood is slipping away, replaced by the need to be strategic, careful, always thinking ahead. Because of choices I made, enemies I created, a woman I loved who loved crime more. Friday can't come fast enough, and yet I wish it would never come at all. Thursday night, less than 12 hours until we deliberately put my daughter in harm's way. I sit in the FBI command center, watching agents prepare for tomorrow's operation. Screens show satellite views of the route, positions of undercover units, contingency plans for everything that could go wrong. Alpha team will be in the brown delivery van. Agent Davies points to positions on the map. Beta takes the coffee shop on the corner. Gamma positions on the roof of the parking garage. Full coverage, no blind spots. What about Thompson's inside person? I ask. Only the 6 of us in this room know the full plan. Everyone else thinks it's a routine protection detail. 6 people. Davies, Mills, 3 other agents I've been told to trust, and me. If there's a mole, it's one of us. Where will Rachel actually be? Decoy car takes the planned route. Rachel will be in a secondary vehicle 2 blocks behind. By the time Thompson's people realize they've hit an empty car, we'll have them surrounded. It sounds simple, clean. Nothing ever is. My phone rings. Melissa. It's Thursday night, she says without preamble. Have you decided? I've decided to protect our daughter. That's not an answer. It's the only answer that matters. Silence. Then, you're making a mistake. Thompson doesn't forgive. Doesn't forget. If you cross him tomorrow, then he'll what? Kill us? He's already planning that. No, Simon. Death would be merciful. Thompson specializes in suffering. Ask Linda Martinez about her son. Ask Karen Walsh about her new face. New face? Acid. Thompson's calling card for women who betray him. She's had 6 surgeries. Still can't go out in public without people staring. My stomach turns. And you stayed with this monster? I stayed alive. There's a difference. Is there? Because from where I'm sitting, you're sitting in an FBI building surrounded by armed guards planning to gamble our daughter's life. Don't lecture me about choices. She's right, and I hate her for it. But I hate myself more for what I'm about to do. There's still time, she continues. Call Tate. Accept the deal. Let me disappear with Thompson and you'll never hear from us again. Rachel needs her mother. Rachel needs to be alive. Everything else is negotiable. Even your soul. My soul was forfeit the day I chose Harvey over you. This is just collecting the bill. The honesty hurts more than the lies ever did. I'm sorry, Melissa, for whatever I did that made Harvey seem like a better option. You didn't do anything wrong. That's what made it worse. You were perfect husband, perfect father, perfect provider. Do you know how exhausting perfection is to live with? So you chose chaos instead? I chose feeling alive. Harvey made me feel powerful. Thompson makes me feel necessary. You only ever made me feel safe. Most people want safe. Most people are lying. We sit in silence, years of marriage reduced to philosophical differences. I have to go, I finally say. Rachel needs... Simon? Her voice cracks slightly. Whatever happens tomorrow, remember that I loved you once. Really loved you, before I became this. What happened to that woman? She got bored. Then she got greedy. Then she got caught. A pause. Tell Rachel. Tell her the stars still remember. The line goes dead. I stare at the phone, wondering if that was goodbye. Mr. Hartley? Davy stands in the doorway. We need to go through the morning protocol once more. But I'm not listening. I'm thinking about a woman who chose excitement over safety, who traded her family for the thrill of crime. Tomorrow we find out if that choice kills us all. I don't sleep. Instead, I sit by Rachel's bed, watching her breathe. She's kicked off her covers, one foot hanging off the bed, arms wrapped around her stuffed elephant. So small, so trusting. At 3 a.m., I write her a letter, just in case. My dearest Rachel, if you're reading this, something went wrong. I'm sorry. I tried to protect you, but sometimes trying isn't enough. Know this. You are loved beyond measure. You are brilliant and brave and kind. You are nothing like the choices your mother and I made. Be better than us. Love safer than us. Choose happiness over excitement, peace over chaos, truth over convenient lies. I love you to the moon and back and around all the stars. Forever, Daddy, I seal it. Give it to Mills with instructions. He takes it without comment. We both know what it means. 5 a.m., time to move. I wake Rachel gently. Morning, baby girl. Ready for our adventure? She stretches, yawns. Donuts? The best donuts in the city. With sprinkles? Mountains of sprinkles. She gets dressed quickly, excited about the break in routine. I help her with her shoes, fix her hair, try not to think about this being potentially the last normal morning of her life. Daddy? You look sad. Just tired, sweetheart. You can have some of my donuts. Sugar helps with tired. That's very generous. That's what families do. Share. I hug her tight, maybe too tight. She squirms. Daddy, you're squishing Ellie, her elephant. Sorry. I ease up, but don't let go. I love you, Rachel. Love you too. Can we go now? I'm hungry. The convoy assembles outside. 2 identical SUVs, multiple unmarked cars. The decoy vehicle pulls away first, Rachel and I hidden in the back of a plumbing van that smells like industrial cleaner. This is weird, Rachel observes. Why are we in a dirty van? It's a game, I lie. Like hide and seek. Who are we hiding from? Everyone. Everything. The truth. Bad people, I finally say. But don't worry, the good guys are watching. She nods, accepting this like she's accepted everything else. Guards at our house, moving in the night, mommy on the news. Her normal isn't normal anymore. We roll through empty streets, the city just beginning to wake. Davies' voice crackles through the radio. Decoy approaching target intersection. No sign of weight. Van approaching from the east. 2 motorcycles from the north. This is it. All units prepare to... The explosion cuts her off. Through the van's dirty windows, I see smoke rising 2 blocks away. The decoy. What was that? Rachel asks, alarmed. Fireworks, I lie. Big ones. Radio chatter explodes. IED on the decoy. Repeat, explosive device. 2 agents down. Move in. All units converge. Negative contact on Thompson. Where the fuck is Thompson? My blood freezes. They hit the decoy, but Thompson isn't there. Which means our van lurches to a stop. The driver slumps forward, something protruding from his neck. A dart. Daddy, get down, baby. Hide under the seat. But it's too late. The van doors explode open. Not FBI, not anyone I recognize. Gas floods in and the world goes sideways. The last thing I hear is Rachel screaming. I wake in darkness, head pounding, mouth dry. I try to move and realize I'm tied to a chair, basement somewhere from the damp smell. Daddy? Rachel's voice terrified. I'm here, baby. Are you okay? I'm scared. I know, but we're going to be okay. Lights flood on, blinding. When my vision clears, Thompson stands there. Older than his photos, harder. Behind him, 2 men with guns. Mr. Hartley, welcome to Plan B. Where's my daughter? Safe, for now. He pulls up a chair, sits facing me. You know, I had such a simple plan. Your wife walks, we disappear, everyone lives happily ever after. But you had to be clever. Let Rachel go. She's innocent in this. Innocent? He laughs. Nobody's innocent. Your daughter is leverage, same as her mother, same as you. The FBI knows? The FBI knows shit. My person inside made sure of that. Sent them chasing ghosts while I collected you. Who? Who's your inside person? Does it matter? What matters is what happens next. He stands, paces. See, I've got a problem. Melissa won't cooperate without assurances about the kid, but I can't give assurances when Daddy's trying to play hero. So we need a new arrangement. What do you want? I want my money. I want my woman. I want my life back. He leans close. And you're going to give them to me. How? You're going to call your FBI friends. Tell them you escaped, but Rachel didn't. Tell them I want Melissa released in exchange for the girl. They'll do it dead kid makes bad headlines. And then you disappear. Maybe suicide. Grief-stricken father couldn't handle losing his family. Tragic, but believable. You're insane. I'm practical. Your death solves everyone's problems. Melissa's free to be with me. Rachel gets raised by someone who isn't you. The FBI closes a messy case. Everyone wins. Except me. You had your chance to win. You chose to fight instead. He signals one of his men. Bring the girl. No, wait, but they're already moving. I hear Rachel crying, begging. They drag her in and my heart shatters. She's still in her school clothes, face streaked with tears. Daddy? It's okay, baby. Look at me. Just look at me. Thompson grabs her chin, forces her to face him. Pretty thing. Melissa's eyes. Be a shame if something happened to them. You son of a bitch! She's a child! She's currency. Nothing more. He lets her go and she runs to me, throwing her arms around my bound form. Make the call, Hartley, or I start cutting pieces off her. Fingers first, then toes. Then, I'll do whatever you want, just don't hurt her. He smiles. See? Reasonable. You should have started there. They set up a phone, hold it to my ear. Davies answers on the first ring. Simon? Thank God, where are you? I got away. I lie, hating myself. But they have Rachel. We know. We're tracking. They want Melissa released. No tricks, no surveillance. Just her for Rachel. Simon, we can't. They'll kill her. I let real fear bleed through. Please, I'm begging you. Get Melissa out. Make the trade. I can't lose my daughter. Silence. Then, I'll need to make calls. It'll take time. You have 2 hours, Thompson says loudly. After that, the girl starts losing parts. The line goes dead. Thompson nods, satisfied. See? Easy. Now we wait. They drag us to a corner, tie Rachel beside me. She's shaking, terrified but trying to be brave. It's okay, I whisper. We're going to be okay. That man is mean, she whispers back. Like the villains in stories. Yes, but remember what happens to villains? They lose. They always lose. Thompson laughs from across the room. Not in real life, kid. In real life, villains run the world. But even as he says it, I notice something. One of his men keeps checking his phone, nervous. The other shifts position repeatedly, watching the door more than us. Something's wrong. Thompson doesn't see it yet, but his men do. Hey, boss, one finally says. Maybe we should move. This location is fine, Thompson snaps. We've used it for years. Yeah, but with the FBI sniffing around, the FBI is chasing their tails. Relax. But they don't relax. If anything, they get more agitated. And I start to wonder, who really sent that video? Who's Thompson's inside person? And why do his own men look ready to bolt? Daddy, Rachel whispers, I need to use the bathroom. Just hold it, baby. I can't. Thompson hears, annoyed. Christ, take her, make it quick. One of the men untie her, leads her to a door. That's when I see it the way he positions himself, hand near his weapon but not threatening. Protection stance, not guard stance. He's not one of Thompson's men. He's someone else's. They disappear into the bathroom and I hold my breath. 30 seconds. 60. Too long for a child's bathroom break. Thompson notices too. What's taking so? The lights go out. Chaos. Gunfire. Screaming. I throw myself sideways, chair and all, trying to get low. Emergency lights kick in, bathing everything in red. Thompson's on the ground, clutching his shoulder. His other man is down, not moving, and standing in the doorway. Hello, Harvey, Melissa says, lowering a smoking gun. Miss me? Behind her, the fake guard holds Rachel, shielding her eyes, but I see his face now, recognize it from photos. Not Thompson's man, not FBI. Harvey Chen's organization. The fake guard is one of Harvey's people. Melissa? Thompson gasps. What? Did you really think I'd choose you over Harvey? You were just a means to an end. A way to move his money while he was inside. But Harvey's getting out soon. Compassionate release terminal cancer. Very sad. And when he does, we're finishing what we started. You played me. Like a violin. Every woman you turned, I turned them first. Your entire network belongs to Harvey now. She walks over, kicks his gun away. You were useful, Bryce, but useful just makes you a tool. And Harvey doesn't share his tools. The FBI. We'll find a dead, corrupt guard who kidnapped a child. Case closed. Simon will be a hero for calling it in. Rachel gets her daddy back, and I... She smiles. I get everything I wanted. You're insane. No, I'm ambitious. You should have recognized the difference. She raises the gun again. I close my eyes, not wanting to see. The shot echoes. When I open them, Thompson's still. Melissa turns to me, and for a moment I see the woman I married. Soft, sad, human. I'm sorry, Simon, for all of it. But this was the only way to keep you both safe. By becoming a killer? By becoming what I always was. Harvey saw it. Thompson saw it. You're the only one who couldn't. She gestures to the fake guard. Let them go. He cuts my bonds, and I immediately grab Rachel, hold her tight. She's in shock, not crying, just staring. The FBI will be here soon, Melissa says. Tell them Thompson grabbed you. His men turned on him. You escaped in the chaos. Keep it simple. Melissa. I'm already dead, Simon. Have been since the day I chose Harvey. This is just making it official. She touches Rachel's face gently. Be good for Daddy, baby girl. Remember the stars. Mommy? I love you, both of you. But love isn't enough. It never was. Sirens in the distance, getting closer. Go, she says. Out the back. Run. Don't look back. I carry Rachel, following the fake guard through dark corridors. Behind us, more gunshots. Melissa cleaning up loose ends. We burst into daylight just as FBI vehicles screech up. Davies jumps out, weapon drawn. Simon, Rachel, are you... Thompson's dead, I gasp. His men turned on each other, we ran. She looks skeptical but has bigger problems. Agents rush the building, more gunfire inside. Get them to safety, Davies orders Mills. We'll sort this out later. As we're led away, I look back. Smoke pours from the building. Whatever evidence was in there is gone now. Melissa covering her tracks one last time. Is Mommy okay? Rachel asks quietly. I don't know how to answer. Is she okay? She's a killer, a criminal, a woman who chose Harvey Chen over her family. But she also just saved our lives, eliminated Thompson, ended the threat. I don't know, baby. Will we see her again? I don't think so. She nods, too wise for her years. That's okay. I have you. Yeah, baby, you have me. But as we drive away, I wonder what we really have. Safety bought with blood. Freedom purchased by Melissa's final transformation into something unrecognizable. She won. In the end, despite everything, Melissa won. Harvey will get out. They'll disappear together, live their criminal dreams on some beach somewhere, and we'll go home, back to normal life. Soccer practices and homework and bedtime stories, pretending mommy is just gone, not choosing crime over family every single day. Thompson was wrong. Sometimes the villains don't win. Sometimes they just get what they wanted all along. 3 years. That's how long Melissa's been gone this time, and the world has moved on without her. Rachel's 14 now, all legs and attitude and brilliant observations that cut through bullshit like a scalpel. She looks more like her mother every day, but thank God she thinks like me. Dad, reporters are outside again. I look up from my case files. Through the home office window, I can see a news van parked across the street. The vultures never really left, just circled from a distance, waiting for the next chapter in our tragedy. What do they want now? Something about Mom filing an appeal. Is that true? I should have known Rachel would hear about it. Kids at school probably saw it online before I did. The digital age means secrets have a half-life of about 30 seconds. Yes, she's claiming her lawyer was ineffective, but she's had like 3 lawyers. That's her point. She's representing herself now. Rachel rolls her eyes, a gesture so perfectly teenage it almost makes me smile. Is she seriously trying to lawyer her way out of prison? Doesn't she know you're better at this than her? Your mother's always been optimistic about her abilities. You mean delusional. Rachel, what? Are we still pretending she's just misunderstood? Dad, she tried to have you killed. She chose a criminal over us. At what point do we stop making excuses? The words sting because they're true. I've spent 3 years trying to preserve some idealized version of Melissa for Rachel, but she's too smart for comfortable lies. You're right. I'm sorry. She softens, comes around the desk to hug me. You don't have to protect me anymore. I know who she is. When did you get so wise? Therapy helps. Also, living through your parents' criminal conspiracy ages you in dog years. Despite everything, I laugh. Dog years? Yeah, I'm basically middle-aged in trauma time. My phone buzzes. Angelo Martinez, my law partner in our new firm. We specialize in corruption cases now, built on the reputation of taking down Thompson's network. Simon, you seeing this? CNN's running a segment on Melissa's appeal. Rachel just told me about the news van. She's claiming you coerced her confession. Says the FBI threatened her family if she didn't cooperate. That's ridiculous. Is it? You were wearing a wire. You did bring FBI agents to arrest her. A sympathetic judge might see entrapment. I think about that night. Melissa with the knife, the wine staining our kitchen wall. She confessed to crimes I didn't even know about. I'm just saying be prepared. She's been studying law inside. Word is she's gotten good. How good? Good enough that the wardens asked her to help other inmates with their appeals. She's become something of a jailhouse lawyer. Of course she has. Melissa never could resist being the center of attention. Thanks for the heads up. Want me to handle the media? No, I'll do it. Time to remind people what really happened. After I hang up, Rachel's watching me with those 2 wise eyes. You're going to fight her? I'm going to tell the truth. Good. Someone should. The next morning, I'm on 3 different news shows explaining why Melissa's appeal is groundless. I wear the suit she bought me for our anniversary petty maybe, but symbols matter in the court of public opinion. Mr. Hartley, the anchor says, leaning forward with practiced concern, your wife claims she was manipulated by both Harvey Chen and Officer Thompson. Isn't it possible she's a victim here? My ex-wife, I correct, though the divorce isn't final because she keeps filing delays from prison, was recorded planning crimes that occurred before she ever met Thompson. She wasn't manipulated. She was a willing participant who got caught. But the trauma of incarceration, doesn't excuse attempted murder, doesn't excuse using our daughter as cover for criminal meetings, doesn't excuse choosing crime over family repeatedly. Some women's groups say you're being harsh, that the system failed her. The system gave her 5 years instead of 10 because I fought for her. The system gave her protective custody when Thompson was revealed. The system is now giving her the right to appeal. How exactly did it fail her? The anchor shifts tactics. Your daughter recently wrote an op-ed about having a parent in prison, very mature for a 14-year-old. Rachel's had to grow up fast. When your mother treats you like a prop in her criminal enterprise, childhood ends early. That's a strong accusation. It's a documented fact. She used Rachel to pass messages, to provide cover for meetings, to manipulate me into helping her. That's not motherhood. That's exploitation. After the show, my phone explodes with messages. Some supportive, some calling me heartless, some threatening. The usual mix when our family drama goes public. But one text stands out. Unknown number. She's not fighting alone. H.C. Harvey Chen. Even from his Supermax cell, he's reaching out. I forward it to the FBI immediately. That afternoon, I'm at the office when Angelo bursts in. You need to see this. He puts his tablet on my desk. It's a video from a women's advocacy group. Melissa in prison gray, looking fragile and earnest, telling her story. I was young when I met Harvey, she says to the interviewer. He was powerful, charismatic. He made me feel special. By the time I realized what he really was, I was in too deep. And Officer Thompson? Another predator. They target women like me, women who've already been victimized, who think we deserve the abuse. Tears now, perfectly timed. I'm not saying I'm innocent, but I'm saying the men who exploited me are the real criminals. Your husband seems to disagree. Simon's a good man who can't forgive betrayal. I understand that. But he's never been powerless. He's never had to choose between survival and morality. I close the tablet, disgusted. She's rewriting history. Effectively, Angelo says, that video has 2 million views already. Comment section split between people calling her a master manipulator and people calling you an abusive ex using the system to punish her. She threatened me with a knife, on tape. A woman defending herself against a man who brought armed agents to arrest her. That's how they're spinning it. Jesus Christ. There's more. 3 women's groups have filed amicus briefs supporting her appeal. A documentary filmmaker wants to tell her story. She's becoming a cause célèbre. For what? Criminal wives who get caught? For women trapped in cycles of abuse who turn to crime for survival. I think about Melissa choosing Harvey over our marriage, choosing Thompson over our daughter, choosing crime over family every single time. That's not what happened. I know that. You know that. But narrative beats truth in the court of public opinion. He's right, and it terrifies me. Melissa's always been good at playing victim when it suited her. Now she has a national audience. What do you recommend? Full transparency. Release everything. The emails with Harvey, the prison recordings, the financial documents. Show people who she really is. That could backfire. Make me look vindictive. Or it could save your daughter from a lifetime of people telling her that her mother was a victim instead of a volunteer. Rachel. Everything always comes back to Rachel. Do it. Release everything. The document dump changes everything. Suddenly the narrative shifts. The emails between Melissa and Harvey, planning to frame me for infidelity and flee with Rachel, are particularly damning. Her handwritten notes about moving money, decoded by FBI cryptographers, show a sophisticated criminal mind at work. But Melissa's not done. She gives a jailhouse interview to 60 Minutes. I'm not denying I did terrible things, she tells the camera, but I was shaped by the men who used me. Harvey promised me freedom. Thompson promised me protection. Simon promised me love. They all lied in their own ways. How did your husband lie? By making me believe I could be happy in a cage. A gilded cage, but still a cage. The house in the suburbs, the PTA meetings, the dinner parties with his boring colleagues. I was dying inside, and he never noticed. So you turned to crime? I turned to feeling alive. The danger, the excitement, the power, it was intoxicating. Wrong, but intoxicating. Do you regret it? I regret hurting my daughter. Everything else? I regret getting caught. At least she's honest about that part. The interviewer leans forward. You're representing yourself in this appeal. Why? Because I know my case better than anyone, because I've spent 3 years studying law, because I have nothing left to lose. What about your daughter? For the first time, real emotion flickers across Melissa's face. Rachel's better off without me. Simon's a good father. Boring, but good. She'll grow up to be a productive citizen who pays her taxes and follows the rules and never knows what it feels like to really live. That sounds bitter. It sounds realistic. I'm not meant for that life. I tried for 7 years and it nearly killed me. Prison's more honest. Here, nobody pretends to be something they're not. The interview destroys any sympathy Melissa had gained. Saying Rachel's better off without her, dismissing suburban life as a cage, admitting she only regrets getting caught. It's too much honesty for her supporters to spin. Rachel watches it with me, her face carefully neutral. She really believes that, she says finally. That crime is living and everything else is dying. I think she does, yes. Is that why she could leave us? Because we were already dead to her? How do you answer that? How do you explain to your daughter that her mother loved adrenaline more than family? I think your mother loved us in her way, but her way wasn't enough. Dad, it's okay to say she didn't love us. Not really. Not the way parents are supposed to love their kids. Rachel. I've been thinking about it a lot. In therapy, we talk about different kinds of love. There's the love that protects and sacrifices. That's what you do. Then there's the love that consumes and destroys. That's what Mom does. She loves like a fire loves wood by turning it to ash. Jesus. When did my little girl become a philosopher? That's very insightful. Dr. Martinez says I have unusual clarity for someone my age. Trauma will do that. She manages a small smile. Plus, I inherited your analytical brain and Mom's ability to see through bullshit. Genetic jackpot for recognizing toxic people. I'm sorry you need those skills. I'm not. Better to see clearly than live in denial. She stands up, heads for the door, then turns back. Dad? When Mom loses this appeal and she will lose, can we finally stop talking about her? Like permanently? If that's what you want. It is. I want to stop being the girl whose mom chose crime over her. I want to just be Rachel. You've always been just Rachel to me. I know. That's why you're the parent who stayed. 3 weeks later, we're in court for Melissa's appeal. She's thinner, her hair shorter, but she still commands attention when she enters. She's representing herself, dressed in a suit that somehow looks elegant despite being prison issue. Your Honor, she begins. I stand before you not as an innocent woman, but as a woman whose guilt was manufactured by an elaborate entrapment scheme. Judge Catherine Banks, 70 years old and taking no shit from anyone, peers over her glasses. Counselor Hartley, you are acting as your own counsel, correct? Yes, Your Honor. Then proceed, but be warned I've reviewed your case extensively. Impress me with law, not theatrics. Melissa nods, launches into her argument. And damn it, she's good. She cites cases, procedures, constitutional violations. She paints a picture of a woman caught between 2 criminal men, trying to protect her family, entrapped by an overzealous husband working with corrupt FBI agents. The wire my husband wore was authorized based on false pretenses. The arrest was staged to maximize drama rather than ensure justice. The entire operation was designed not to uncover truth, but to manufacture evidence. I watched the judge, trying to read her. Banks is smart, fair, but also human. Melissa's playing to every sympathy, every doubt. The prosecutor, ADA Jennifer Walsh, stands to respond. Your Honor, Mrs. Hartley's confession included crimes the FBI didn't even know about. She revealed connections to Harvey Chen that predated her marriage. She admitted to planning to flee with stolen money. How is that entrapment? Because without the artificial pressure created by the staged operation, I never would have said those things, Melissa responds. I was terrified, confused, trying to protect my daughter from what I thought was an imminent threat. You pulled a knife on your husband. I was surrounded by armed agents who burst into my home. Fight or flight is not a crime. It goes on for hours. Melissa systematically attacking every piece of evidence, every procedure, every decision that led to her arrest. She's had 3 years to prepare, and it shows. Finally, Judge Banks calls a recess. In the hallway, I'm approached by a woman I don't recognize. Mr. Hartley, I'm Patricia Wong from the Times. How do you think it's going? No comment. Your ex-wife seems very prepared. No comment. If she wins this appeal, she won't. Patricia smiles. You seem confident. I know the truth. The judge will too. But as we file back into the courtroom, I'm less certain. Melissa's always been persuasive when she wants to be, and she wants this badly. Judge Banks returns, settles into her chair. I've considered the arguments presented. Mrs. Hartley, your command of the law is impressive for someone self-taught. Your arguments are creative, well-researched, and passionately presented. Melissa straightens, hope flickering in her eyes. However, the judge continues, passion is not precedent. Creativity is not constitutional violation. You've failed to demonstrate any substantive error in your original trial or subsequent conviction. Your confession, regardless of the circumstances, revealed crimes that were independently verified. Your claim of entrapment falls apart when examined against the evidence you yourself provided. Melissa's shoulders drop slightly. Furthermore, Mrs. Hartley, your behavior since incarceration, including attempts to maintain criminal networks, coordinate with other inmates, and manipulate public opinion demonstrates a clear pattern of continued criminal thinking. Your appeal is denied. Your Honor. That's my ruling. However, I do have something to add. You're clearly intelligent, resourceful, and capable of great things. That you've chosen to use these gifts for crime is a tragedy. That you continue to choose crime over rehabilitation is a choice. I hope someday you make a different one. Court dismissed. Outside the courthouse, Melissa's supporters clash with victims' rights advocates. Signs reading "Justice for Melissa" compete with "Choices have consequences." I shield Rachel as we push through to our car. Dad, look! Rachel points to a woman holding a photo of a young girl. Who's that? I recognize her from the trial coverage. Linda Martinez. Her daughter was one of Thompson's victims. She's making sure people remember this isn't just about your mother. Can we talk to her? Why? Because she understands. Her family was destroyed by the same people who destroyed ours. Sometimes Rachel's maturity still surprises me. We approach Linda, who recognizes us immediately. Mr. Hartley, I'm sorry about all this. Miss Martinez, this is my daughter, Rachel. Linda's eyes soften. You look like your mother. I know, Rachel says simply. I'm sorry about your daughter. Thank you. She's surviving. That's all we can do, right? Survive and try to make sure it doesn't happen to others. They talk for a few minutes, two people bound by shared trauma. As we walk away, Rachel's quiet. You okay? Yeah, it's just, Mom destroyed so many lives, not just ours. Yes, she did. I'm glad she lost the appeal. Me too. Does that make us bad people? Being glad she's staying in prison? I stop, turn to face my daughter. No, baby. It makes us people who understand that actions have consequences, who believe justice matters, who know that love doesn't excuse harm. She nods, takes my hand. Come on, let's go home. As we drive away, I see Melissa being loaded into the prison transport van. She looks out the window. Our eyes meet for a moment. I see no remorse, no sadness. Just that same calculating look she's always had when planning her next move, because this isn't over. With Melissa, it never is. Harvey Chen dies on a Tuesday, shanked in the shower by an inmate he'd cheated in some contraband deal. The news breaks while I'm in court, and my phone explodes with notifications. Dad? Rachel texts from school. Kids are saying Mom's boyfriend is dead. True? I step into the hallway to call her. It's true. Harvey Chen was killed this morning. Good. The coldness in her voice should worry me, but I understand it. Harvey destroyed our family as much as Melissa did. You okay? Yeah. Does Mom know? Probably not yet. She's going to lose it. That's an understatement. Harvey was Melissa's escape plan, her future, her validation that choosing crime over family was worth it, without him. Let me worry about your mother. You focus on school. Dad, I'm not a little kid anymore. I know this changes things. She's right. Harvey's organization will crumble without him. His protection, his money, his connections all gone. Melissa's suddenly very alone and very vulnerable. We'll talk tonight, I promise. But there's no time. By evening, 3 different news outlets are calling for statements. The FBI wants to know if I've heard from any of Harvey's associates. And Melissa's lawyer, she has one again, apparently leaves 6 messages demanding to speak with me. I'm pouring a scotch when Nora arrives. We've been together 2 years now, her patience with our complicated life seemingly endless. Rough day? She kisses me, tastes the whiskey. That bad, huh? Harvey's dead. I heard. The criminal underground is having quite the power struggle over his territory. Any of it going to blow back on us? I don't think so. We're old news to them. But Melissa, what about her? Nora pulls out her tablet, shows me intercepted prison communications her sources provided. She's been trying to maintain Harvey's network from inside. With him gone, she's lost her protection. There's already been 1 attempt on her life. Jesus. She's in solitary now, but that's temporary. Simon, she might not survive this. I should feel something: concern, pity, even satisfaction. Instead, I just feel tired. That's not my problem anymore. No, but it might be Rachel's, if Melissa dies in prison. Rachel will be fine. She's made peace with losing her mother. This would just make it official. Nora studies me. You've changed. Have I? 3 years ago, you'd have been trying to save her. Even after everything. 3 years ago, I still believed she could be saved. Now I know better. Melissa chose this life. These are the consequences. 6 months later, Rachel graduates middle school with highest honors. She gives the valedictorian speech, talking about resilience, justice, and the power of choosing who you want to be despite where you come from. My mother taught me something valuable, she tells the assembled parents and students. She taught me that you can't blame your choices on other people. You can't claim victimhood while victimizing others. You can't destroy families and call it survival. Every day we choose who we are. I choose to be someone who builds instead of breaks, who protects instead of exploits, who loves instead of uses. That's my choice. What's yours? The applause is thunderous. I see teachers wiping tears, parents nodding. My daughter, 15 years old, speaking truths most adults can't face. Afterward, at the reception, she's surrounded by friends and well-wishers. I watch from a distance, marveling at her strength. She's remarkable, Principal Davies says, joining me, despite everything she's been through. Because of everything she's been through, I correct. Pressure makes diamonds. Most kids would have crumbled. Rachel's not most kids. No, she's not. Georgetown's lucky to have her coming. Early admission to one of the best pre-law programs in the country. Rachel wants to be a prosecutor, wants to put away the people who prey on others. She says it's not about her mother, but we both know better. That night, we have dinner at Rachel's favorite restaurant, a little Vietnamese place that makes the best pho in the city. Nora joins us, along with my mother and Rachel's best friend, Emma. So, Georgetown, my mother says, beaming, following in your father's footsteps. Better than following in my mother's, Rachel quips, then catches herself. Sorry, I shouldn't. Yes, you should, I interrupt. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to make dark jokes. You're allowed to process this however you need to. Dr. Martinez says I use humor as a defense mechanism. Dr. Martinez is right, but defense mechanisms aren't always bad. Sometimes they're what keep us sane. Speaking of sanity, Nora interjects, I have news. Thompson's been attacked in prison. He's alive, but barely. Paralyzed from the chest down. Rachel processes this. Good. He won't be able to hurt anyone else. Rachel, my mother starts, but I cut her off. She's entitled to her feelings, Mom. Thompson destroyed lives. If karma finally caught up with him, so be it. I just worry about her becoming hard. I'm not becoming hard, Grandma, Rachel says. I'm becoming realistic. There's a difference. 2 years pass in a blur. Rachel thrives at Georgetown, makes law review, interns at the U.S. Attorney's Office. She comes home less frequently, building her own life, and I'm proud of her for it. Melissa, meanwhile, fades into the background. Her appeals exhausted, her protectors dead or imprisoned, she serves her time quietly. The letters to Rachel stop after the restraining order makes it clear that any contact will add years to her sentence. I marry Nora in a small ceremony at the courthouse. Rachel's my best woman, making a speech that perfectly balances humor and heart. When I was little, I thought love meant drama, she says. Passion, fights, reconciliations. That's what I saw. But watching Dad and Nora, I learned that real love is quiet. It's showing up. It's choosing each other every day without fireworks or fanfare. It's building something solid in a world full of chaos. Thank you both for showing me what that looks like. Later at the reception, she pulls me aside. I got a call yesterday from the prison. My blood chills. Melissa? Her counselor. Mom's in the hospital. Stage 3 liver cancer. They say she has maybe 6 months. I don't know how to feel. Relief? Sadness? Nothing. Do you want to see her? No. Rachel's immediate. She's been dead to me for years. This just makes it medical. You might regret. The only thing I regret is the years I spent hoping she'd choose us. She never did. I'm not giving her the chance to reject me again. If you change your mind, I won't. She hugs me. But thank you for supporting whatever I choose. That's the difference between you and her. You let me make my own decisions. Melissa dies alone on a rainy Thursday in March. The prison chaplain calls to inform me, asks about funeral arrangements. She has no family, I tell him. You were married. Were. Past tense. She made her choices. What about your daughter? Also chooses to have no mother. He's quiet for a moment. That's very sad. Yes, I agree. It is. They cremate her, scatter the ashes in the prison cemetery with the other unclaimed dead. No marker, no memorial, no trace that Melissa Hartley ever existed except in court records and the trauma she left behind. Rachel doesn't attend. She's in court that day, prosecuting her first case, a guard accused of smuggling contraband. She wins, sends him away for 7 years. How do you feel? I ask her that night over dinner. Like I'm making a difference. Like all that pain had a purpose. She pauses. Is it weird that I felt nothing when she died? No, you grieved her years ago. This was just paperwork. Emma thinks I'm cold. Emma didn't live through what you did. No, she didn't. Rachel pushes food around her plate. I saw Linda Martinez at the courthouse. Her daughter's doing well. Preemed at Hopkins. That's wonderful. We're thinking of starting a support group for kids whose parents chose crime over them. There are more of us than you'd think. My brilliant, wounded, resilient daughter, taking her pain and turning it into purpose. I'm proud of you. I know, she smiles. I'm proud of me, too. 10 years later, I'm sitting in another courtroom, but this time I'm in the gallery. Rachel's at the prosecutor's table, 32 years old and already making a name for herself in the Southern District of New York. The case is eerily familiar, a wife accused of conspiring with her lover to defraud investors while her husband played the fool. But this wife won't get 5 years, not with Rachel Hartley prosecuting. The defendant wants you to believe she was a victim, Rachel tells the jury. That she was manipulated, coerced, forced into crime by a charismatic man. But look at the evidence. Look at the planning, the calculation, the choices made every single day to lie, steal, and destroy. Victims don't transfer millions to offshore accounts. Victims don't forge documents with precision. Victims don't choose crime over family repeatedly and then claim innocence when caught. The defense attorney objects, but the damage is done. Rachel's not just prosecuting this case. She's prosecuting every criminal who ever claimed victimhood to escape consequences. The wife gets 30 years. Afterward, we have lunch at a place near the courthouse. Rachel's husband, James, joins us, a fellow prosecutor she met at a conference, someone who understands the life. That was brutal, James says. Effective, but brutal. She deserved brutal, Rachel responds. Her kids are 7 and 9. She was going to leave them for a criminal who promised her excitement. Sound familiar? You can't prosecute your mother in every case, I warn. I'm not. I'm prosecuting people who make the same choices she did, who destroy families and claim victimhood, who choose crime over love every single time. She pauses. Is that wrong? No. It's justice. Sometimes I wonder what she'd think, seeing what I've become. She'd probably say you're wasting your life following rules instead of really living. Rachel laughs, but it's bitter. Yeah, probably. Good thing I don't care what she'd think. But she does care even now. We all carry our ghosts, and Melissa's haunts Rachel in every case she tries, every criminal she puts away, every child she saves from a parent who chooses wrong. You know what the funny thing is? Rachel says. I'm actually grateful to her. For what? For showing me exactly who I don't want to be, for teaching me that choices matter, for proving that love isn't enough if it's not backed by action. She raises her water glass. To Melissa Hartley, may she rest in whatever peace criminals find. We toast to that, to choices and consequences, to the family we built from the ashes of the one that burned. That night, going through old files, I find the letter I wrote Rachel the morning of the kidnapping attempt, the one where I said goodbye just in case. I never gave it to her, never needed to. I read it again, then burn it. Some words are meant for moments that never come, and thank God for that. Rachel calls as I'm watching the paper turn to ash. Dad? I'm pregnant. The words hit like lightning. What? When? How? She laughs. The usual way. Due in November. We wanted to tell you in person, but I couldn't wait. I'm going to be a grandfather? The best grandfather. The kind who shows up, who stays, who chooses family every single day. Rachel. I know it's scary bringing a child into this world, but James and I, we know what not to do. We know what choices not to make. Our kid will never doubt they're loved, never be a prop in someone's scheme, never have to choose between parents. They'll be lucky to have you. They'll be lucky to have all of us. You, Nora, Grandma, the family we chose to build. After we hang up, I sit in the darkness thinking about cycles and choices. Melissa chose crime and died alone. Rachel chose justice and built a life full of love. And now a new generation is coming, one that will never know the chaos we survived. In his own twisted way, Thompson was wrong. The villains don't win. They just think they do until the consequences catch up. And they always catch up, one way or another. I close the file on Melissa permanently and go find Nora. There's a future to plan for, and it's going to be beautiful. The call comes at 3 a.m. because bad news never respects business hours. I fumble for my phone, see it's from the FBI, and know immediately something's wrong. Mr. Hartley? This is Agent Sarah Coleman. I'm sorry to call so late, but we have a situation. I sit up, instantly awake. Beside me, Nora stirs. What kind of situation? We've been investigating financial irregularities in several accounts linked to your ex-wife. It appears she was more involved in Harvey Chen's operations than we initially knew. She's been dead for 5 years. Yes, but her network wasn't. Mr. Hartley, we've uncovered evidence that she helped Chen launder money for the Guadalajara cartel. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, and some of it moved through accounts that still have your name attached. My blood runs cold. That's impossible. I haven't had joint accounts with Melissa since before her first arrest. We know. But she apparently maintained access to accounts you'd forgotten about. Used them as pass-throughs. On paper, you look complicit. This is insane. It's sophisticated. Your ex-wife was apparently much better at financial crime than anyone realized. We need you to come in, bring any records you have from your marriage. We need to untangle this before the cartel realizes their money manager is dead and starts looking for someone to blame. I hang up and turn to Nora, who's now fully awake. Melissa's reaching out from the grave. What? I explain while getting dressed. Even dead, my ex-wife has found a way to endanger our family. Some things never change. The FBI field office is bustling despite the early hour. Agent Coleman meets me in the lobby, young, sharp, the kind of agent who makes cases that matter. Thank you for coming so quickly. I know this must be a shock. Melissa's been shocking me for 15 years. Death apparently hasn't slowed her down. She leads me to a conference room where financial documents cover every surface. I recognize some of them old investment accounts, a savings bond we bought when Rachel was born, even the joint checking account we opened in law school. She never closed these? She kept them dormant until she needed them. Small deposits here and there, nothing to trigger alerts. But over time, Coleman shows me the totals. $2.3 million moved through accounts with your name on them. Jesus. It gets worse. Some of these transactions happened after her death. What? She set up automatic transfers, crypto purchases, a whole system that kept running even after she was gone, like a financial ghost. I think about Melissa, dying of cancer in prison, still plotting, still scheming. She knew she was dying. This was her last fuck you. Or her insurance policy. We think she was planning to fake her death, disappear with new identity. The cancer just got her first. So what happens now? Coleman's expression is grim. Best case? We prove you had no knowledge, freeze the accounts, and you walk away clean. Worst case? The cartel decides you're the loose end that needs tying up. My daughter is already under protection. We have agents with her in New York. Does she know? Not yet. We wanted to brief you first. I slump in the chair. Even from beyond the grave, Melissa's poisoning our lives. What do you need from me? Everything. Every document, every memory, every detail about your financial life with Melissa. We need to prove you're a victim, not an accomplice. I spend the next 12 hours in that room, going through records I haven't seen in decades. Our first joint tax return, the mortgage for the house we bought together, the loan documents for her car, each paper a reminder of the life I thought we were building. This is interesting, Coleman says, examining a document. This investment account shows regular deposits from a company called MH Enterprises. I don't know that company. Melissa Hartley Enterprises. She incorporated it 3 months before her arrest. You're listed as co-owner. That's fraud. I never signed, but looking at the signature, I realize I did. Wait, this is from our refinancing. She must have slipped it in with the other papers. So you did sign it? Unknowingly. She handled most of our finances. I trusted her. Coleman makes a note. That trust might have made you an unwitting money launderer. The implications hit hard. Everything I've built since Melissa's arrest, the new firm, the reputation, the life with Nora, all of it could crumble because of signatures I don't remember making on papers I didn't read. There's more, Coleman continues. We found correspondence between Melissa and someone called the Architect. High-level discussions about expanding operations, eliminating competition. Ring any bells? No, Melissa never mentioned. Then I remember. Wait. During her appeal, she kept getting legal books from someone, said it was a pen pal interested in justice reform. Do you remember a name? I close my eyes, try to recall. A. Kovac, that's all she ever said. Coleman types rapidly. Alexander Kovac. Russian mob, specializes in financial crimes, died in prison 2 years ago. Let me guess, shortly after Melissa died? 3 months after. Shanked, just like Harvey Chen. A pattern emerges. Everyone connected to Melissa's financial network dies violently. Harvey, Kovac, even Thompson in his way. And now the FBI's uncovering it all with my name attached. Am I in danger? We don't know yet. Depends on how deep this goes and who's still alive to care. By evening, I'm exhausted and terrified in equal measure. The FBI has uncovered a financial web that spans 3 countries and involves at least 4 criminal organizations, all of it with Melissa's fingerprints and my unwitting signature. Rachel calls as I'm leaving the federal building. Dad, there are agents at my apartment. What's going on? Your mother left us one more gift. I'll explain when I see you. Is it bad? It's complicated. With Mom, it always is. She pauses. Do I need to come home? No. Stay where you are. Focus on your cases. I'll handle this. Dad, you don't have to protect me anymore. I'm a federal prosecutor. I can help. I know you can. But this is my mess to clean up. It's Mom's mess. You're just collateral damage. Again. She's right. But it doesn't make me feel better. I've spent 15 years cleaning up Melissa's messes. Apparently, death didn't end that obligation. Back home, Nora's researching everything she can find on cartel financial operations. The dining room table is covered in printouts, laptop screens, and coffee cups. Find anything? Yeah, we're fucked. She looks up, exhaustion clear on her face. Melissa wasn't just laundering money. She was investing it. Real estate, shell companies, cryptocurrency. She built them an empire. And put my name on it. Not all of it, but enough to make you look guilty if someone wants you to look guilty. She reaches for my hand. Simon, maybe we should run. No. The FBI can't protect us from the cartel. Not if they really want us dead. We're not running. I've spent Rachel's entire life standing up to criminals. I'm not stopping now. Even if it gets us killed? Especially then. What lesson does it teach Rachel if we run? That criminals win if they're scary enough? Nora squeezes my hand. You're a stubborn fool. You married me knowing that. I did. And I'd do it again. She pulls me close. So what's the plan? We prove I'm innocent. We unravel Melissa's network. We end this once and for all. Simple as that? Nothing about Melissa is ever simple, but I'm tired of her ghost haunting us. Time to exorcise it permanently. The next morning brings new revelations. Coleman calls with updates that make my blood run cold. We found the main account. Swiss bank, numbered, completely anonymous, except for one thing: it requires 2 signatures for withdrawals over $1 million. Let me guess. Melissa and me? Got it in one. There's currently $347 million sitting in that account. Jesus Christ. The cartel knows about it. Our sources say they're looking for the second signature. They're looking for me. Yes. And Mr. Hartley? They're not known for their patience. I think about Rachel in New York, about Nora researching in our dining room, about the life we've built on the ashes of Melissa's crimes. All of it threatened by money I didn't know existed in accounts I didn't know I owned. What do you recommend? Cooperation? Full disclosure. Help us seize the money before the cartel finds you. And if they find me first, then we'll be investigating your murder instead of Melissa's financial crimes. The brutal honesty is almost refreshing. At least everyone's clear about the stakes. Set it up. Whatever you need, I'll do it. There is one more thing. We've been monitoring chatter from inside federal prison. Someone's been asking about you, claiming to have information about Melissa's network. Who? An inmate named Sarah Winters. She was Melissa's cellmate for her last 6 months. Says Melissa told her things, gave her information for insurance. What does she want? Reduced sentence in exchange for cooperation. She's doing 25 for murder. Killed her husband and his mistress. Sounds like someone Melissa would befriend. Will you talk to her? I think about sitting across from another criminal, hearing more stories about Melissa's crimes, adding more weight to the burden I already carry. But what choice do I have? Set it up. The federal detention center in Brooklyn smells exactly like the one where Melissa served her time disinfectant fighting a losing battle against despair. Sarah Winters looks nothing like my ex-wife but has the same calculating eyes. Mr. Hartley, Melissa talked about you constantly. I'm sure she did. Not the way you think. She respected you. Said you were the only person who ever really challenged her. She had a funny way of showing respect. Sarah leans forward. She was dying. Knew it for months before the diagnosis. The cancer was just confirmation of what she already felt. What does this have to do with everything? She knew she was running out of time. Started making arrangements. Told me things. Gave me codes, account numbers. Said if anything happened, I should reach out to you. Why would she do that? Because despite everything, she trusted you to do the right thing, and because she knew the cartel would come looking eventually. So this is what? Her trying to protect us from beyond the grave? No, this is her trying to fuck over the cartel one last time. The money in those accounts? She was skimming, taking a piece of every transaction. She figured she'd be gone before they noticed. But they noticed. Yeah, and now they want their money back, all of it, including what she stole. How much did she steal? Sarah smiles. About $100 million, give or take. The number hits like a physical blow. $100 million stolen from one of the most violent cartels in the world, and my name is on the accounts. Where is it? Converted to cryptocurrency, stored in wallets only she knew about. Except she told me the keys before she died. Insurance, she called it. And you'll give them to me? To the FBI in exchange for a reduced sentence. But Mr. Hartley, there's something else you need to know. Of course there is. Melissa didn't just steal money, she stole information, account numbers, routes, contacts, everything the cartel needs to operate. She called it her nuclear option. Where is this information? Safe deposit box. Bank in Manhattan. She put it in Rachel's name. My blood freezes. What? Said it was the only way to make sure it stayed safe. Who's going to suspect a prosecutor of hiding cartel secrets? She involved Rachel? Rachel doesn't know. The box has been sitting there for 5 years, paid automatically from one of Melissa's shell accounts. But if the cartel learns about it, they'll go after her. Yeah, your ex-wife might be dead, but her games are still playing out. I stand to leave, needing air, needing to think. Melissa's reached out from the grave to endanger our daughter once again. "Mr. Hartley?" Sarah calls as I reach the door. "For what it's worth, I think she really did love you both. She just loved the game more." "That's not love," I say. "That's obsession." "Maybe. But in her mind, everything she did was to protect you and Rachel, even the crimes." "Bullshit." "Is it? She could have given you both up to save herself. Could have traded information for a lighter sentence. Instead, she kept quiet and died alone. That's gotta count for something." "It counts for nothing. Protecting us would have meant not committing crimes in the first place, not involving us in her schemes, not leaving us to clean up her messes." Sarah shrugs. "Maybe you're right. But the mess still needs cleaning." Outside, Coleman's waiting with a full tactical team. "Did you get what you needed?" "Melissa hid cartel information in a safe deposit box under Rachel's name. We need to secure it immediately." "Jesus, your ex-wife really didn't believe in half measures. She believed in winning. Everything else was negotiable." We drive to Manhattan in a convoy of black SUVs, lights hidden but ready. The bank is closed, but federal warrants open doors that would otherwise stay locked. The safe deposit box is small, unremarkable. Inside, 3 USB drives and a letter addressed to me. I recognize Melissa's handwriting immediately. "Simon," I read aloud while Coleman records. "If you're reading this, I'm dead, and the cartel has noticed they're missing money. I'm sorry. I know that's inadequate, but it's all I have. The drives contain everything, every account, every contact, every secret. It's enough to destroy their entire Eastern Seaboard operation. Use it to buy your safety and Rachel's, or use it to destroy them. Your choice. I trust your judgment even if you never trusted mine. Despite everything, I loved you both." "Melissa." "Touching," Coleman says dryly. "Manipulative," I correct. "Even dead, she's trying to control the narrative." We secure the drives, begin the process of analyzing what Melissa stole. It's comprehensive, a complete blueprint of cartel operations worth more than money, worth lives. "This is huge," Coleman breathes as data scrolls across her screen. "With this, we can dismantle their entire network and paint an even bigger target on my family. Or remove the threat entirely. If we move fast, hit them all at once." "Do it." "Mr. Hartley, I need you to understand the risk." "I understand. My ex-wife started this war. Time to finish it." The raids happened simultaneously across 5 states. 300 arrests, 50 million in drugs seized, the entire eastern operation of the Guadalajara cartel dismantled in a single morning, all thanks to Melissa's theft and obsessive record-keeping. I watch from FBI headquarters as the news breaks. Rachel calls from New York, where she's been coordinating with the U.S. Attorney's Office. "Dad, did Mom really do this?" "She stole from the cartel, documented everything, and hid it for 5 years. So yes, in her twisted way, she did this." They're calling her a hero on the news, saying she was an undercover informant who died protecting her family. She was a criminal who stole from other criminals. Nothing heroic about it. I know. But it's weird, hearing people praise her after everything. How do you feel about it? Rachel's quiet for a moment. Conflicted. She was a terrible mother and a worse person. But this information is saving lives, preventing drugs from reaching kids. Good coming from evil. Broken clocks are right twice a day. Doesn't mean we should rely on them for the time. Yeah. She pauses. Is it over? Really over? The cartel's finished on the East Coast. The money's been seized. There's no one left to come after us. So Mom's finally done destroying our lives? Looks like it. Good. Maybe now we can stop talking about her. But even as I agree, I know it's not that simple. Melissa's ghost will always linger, in Rachel's drive for justice, in my paranoia about trust, in the scars we carry from loving someone who loved crime more than family. That night, I find Nora in the nursery we've prepared for our coming grandchild. She's folding tiny clothes, organizing a life that hasn't begun yet. It's over, I tell her. Is it ever really over with Melissa? The active threat is, the rest. I shrug. We live with it. Rachel seems to be handling it well. She's had a lifetime of practice. Nora sets down the onesie she's holding. Do you think she'll tell her kids about Melissa? Probably. Hard to explain why they only have one grandmother without mentioning the other. What will she say? I think about it. The truth, probably. That their other grandmother made bad choices. That love isn't always enough. That family is about who shows up, not just who shares your DNA. Heavy lessons for kids. Better than pretty lies. We stand together in the nursery, surrounded by promise and potential. Somewhere, Melissa's ashes are scattered in a prison cemetery. Her money's been seized, her secrets exposed, her network destroyed, but her impact remains, rippling through generations. You know what the strangest part is? I say. In the end, she actually did protect us, just not in any way a normal person would. Melissa was never normal. No, she wasn't. I closed the nursery door, leaving the future to unfold on its own terms. Melissa's story is over, but ours continues. And that perhaps is the best revenge of all, not just surviving her chaos, but thriving despite it. The hero always wins, Thompson once said. He was wrong about who the hero was, 25 years. That's how long it's been since Melissa walked out of our lives in handcuffs, and still, she haunts us in unexpected ways. Today it's in the eyes of a young woman sitting across from my desk, asking questions that resurrect ghosts I thought we'd buried. Mr. Hartley, I'm Sarah Chen. I'm writing my dissertation on women in organized crime, and your ex-wife's case is central to my thesis. Chen, of course. Any relation to Harvey? He was my uncle. I was 12 when he died. I study her. Mid-20s, sharp-eyed, carrying herself with the confidence of someone who's had to fight for everything. Nothing like Harvey except the name. Why come to me? Everything about the case is public record. Because public records don't explain how a suburban mother became one of the most sophisticated financial criminals of her generation. They don't explain how she built a network that survived her death. They don't explain Melissa Hartley. Neither can I. Can't or won't. The question hangs between us. Rachel would tell me to send her away, that we don't owe anyone explanations about Melissa. But something in this young woman's eyes, a need to understand, to make sense of chaos, reminds me of Rachel at that age. What's your angle? That Melissa was a victim of circumstance? A feminist icon who fought the patriarchy through crime? Actually, I think she was a predator who used feminist rhetoric to excuse her choices. But I want to understand why. What made her that way? It's such an honest assessment that I find myself leaning back considering. I've spent 25 years asking the same question. And I think some people are just born wanting more than life offers. They see rules as suggestions, relationships as transactions, love as leverage. Melissa was one of those people. But you loved her. I loved who I thought she was. There's a difference. Sarah Chen visits 3 more times, each conversation peeling back layers of the Melissa story. She's done her homework, has documents I've never seen, interviews with people I'd forgotten existed. It's like watching an archaeologist reconstruct a civilization from pottery shards. Did you know Thompson had a journal? She asks during her 3rd visit. He documented everything about his relationship with your ex-wife. How did you? His widow sold it to me. She needs the money. Sarah pulls out photocopies. He writes about Melissa like she was a goddess. Says she taught him how to really run a criminal enterprise, not just small-time prison contraband. I read Thompson's crude handwriting, his worship of my ex-wife evident in every line. It's disturbing, seeing Melissa through the eyes of someone she manipulated so completely. She played him. Everyone. But what I can't figure out is why. She had you, a successful lawyer. She had Rachel. She had a good life. Why throw it away for this? I think about all the times I've asked myself the same question. Because the good life wasn't enough. It never is for people like her. They need the adrenaline, the power, the feeling of being special. Crime gave her that. Do you think she ever loved you? Really loved you? The question everyone dances around but never asks directly. I think she loved me the way a collector loves a rare painting. I was beautiful to own, valuable to possess, but ultimately replaceable if something more interesting came along. That's heartbreaking. That's Melissa. Rachel finds out about Sarah Chen's visits when she sees her leaving my office building. She's 50 now, a federal judge nominated by a president who admired her tough-on crime record. She carries herself with the authority of someone who's earned every ounce of respect she commands. Dad, what the hell are you doing? Talking to a doctoral student? Harvey Chen's niece. I looked her up. Why are you helping her rehabilitate Mom's image? I'm not. If anything, I'm making sure she gets the story right. That Melissa was a criminal by choice, not circumstance. Rachel sits down, the anger fading into something more complex. Do you know how hard I've worked to not be the daughter of Melissa Hartley? And now someone's writing a dissertation that's going to drag it all up again. Maybe that's not a bad thing. How can you say that? Because pretending she didn't exist hasn't made her go away. She's still there, in every case you prosecute, every criminal you sentence. Maybe it's time to stop running from her shadow and start owning it. I don't want to own any part of her. You already do. Your drive, your brilliance, your ability to see through people's bullshit, that's all Melissa. You just use it for good instead of evil. Rachel is quiet for a long moment. I hate that you're right. I know. Will you tell Sarah about me? About how Mom's choices affected me? Only if you want me to. I'll think about it. She stands to leave, then turns back. Dad, do you ever wonder what would have happened if Mom had chosen differently? If she'd stayed straight? Every day. But wondering doesn't change anything. No, it doesn't. A month later, Sarah Chen brings a revelation that shakes even my jaded understanding of Melissa. I found letters, she says, spreading them across my desk. Hidden in Harvey's old cell. Love letters between him and Melissa dating back to before you were married. I pick up one, dated 6 months before I proposed. Melissa's handwriting, talking about the boring law student she was dating, how she was playing a long game, how I'd be useful for keeping her respectable while she and Harvey built their empire. She never loved me at all. I'm sorry. I debated whether to show you. No, I needed to see this. I read more letters, each one another nail in the coffin of my memories. She targeted me, married me because I'd be a good cover, had Rachel because it completed the picture. There's more, references to a child she gave up for adoption before you met, Harvey's child. The room spins. What? Born in 1995, given up through a private adoption. She never told you? No. I think about Melissa pregnant with Rachel, how she glowed, how I thought it was her first pregnancy. Another lie in an endless chain of them. Jesus Christ. I've been trying to track down the child well, adult now, but the records are sealed. Good. Leave them sealed. That person doesn't need Melissa's poison in their life. But I know Sarah won't leave it alone. It's too big a piece of the puzzle. Another victim of Melissa's choices, out there somewhere, probably with no idea their biological mother was a master criminal. That night, I tell Nora about the letters, about the child. She listens without judgment, holding my hand as I reshape 25 years of memories. I was never her husband. I was her mark. You were both. She did marry you for strategy, but living with someone for 7 years, having a child together, that changes things. Even for someone like Melissa. Does it? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like she played a role for 7 years without ever breaking character. Maybe. Or maybe the role became real sometimes. Maybe that's why she stayed as long as she did. She stayed because I was useful. Simon. Nora takes my face in her hands. You're trying to logic your way through emotional trauma. It doesn't work like that. You loved her. She betrayed you. Both things can be true without canceling each other out. I feel like such a fool. For loving your wife? For trusting the mother of your child? That's not foolish. That's human. Melissa wasn't human. She was a calculating machine dressed in skin. No, she was human. That's what makes it worse. A human who chose to be monstrous. The next morning brings another surprise. A call from Warden Patricia Hughes at the federal facility where Melissa died. Mr. Hartley, I'm calling about some items that belong to your ex-wife. We've been renovating her old cell block and found a hidden compartment. There are journals, photographs, some personal effects. Since she had no next of kin listed, burn them. Sir, whatever she left behind, burn it. I don't want it. My daughter doesn't want it. Let it die with her. I understand your feelings, but there might be evidence relevant to ongoing investigations. The FBI has requested, then give it to them. But I don't want to see it. There is one thing you should know. She had a photo of your daughter hidden in the compartment, looked at regularly based on the where. Whatever else she was, Don't, please. I can't hear about Melissa's maternal feelings from her deathbed. It changes nothing. Of course, I apologize. But after I hang up, I can't stop thinking about it. Melissa with a hidden photo of Rachel, looking at it in her cell. The mother who chose crime over family, still carrying her daughter's image. It doesn't fit the monster narrative I've built. Fuck, I mutter and call back. Warden Hughes, send me the photo, just the photo. It arrives 3 days later. Rachel at 14, the school photo from the year Melissa filed her appeal. Worn edges, a crease across the corner from being folded. On the back, in Melissa's handwriting, my greatest creation and my worst failure. I stare at those words for a long time. Self-aware Melissa, acknowledging the damage she caused. Or narcissistic Melissa, still making Rachel's existence about her own achievements and failures. Impossible to know which. I'm still looking at it when Rachel arrives for our weekly lunch. What's that? I hand it to her without words. She studies it, reads the back, goes very still. Where did this come from? Hidden in her cell. The warden found it during renovations. She kept my picture? Apparently. My greatest creation and my worst failure. Rachel reads it again. Even in the end, I was just another project to her. Something she made that didn't turn out how she planned. Rachel. No, it's perfect. It's so perfectly her. She laughs, but it's bitter. She couldn't just keep a photo because she missed me. It had to have meaning, weight, drama. Everything was a fucking performance, even her private moments. Maybe she just didn't know how else to be. That's not an excuse. No, it's not. Rachel tears the photo in half, then quarters, then smaller pieces until it's confetti on my desk. There. Now she can't look at me anymore. Feel better? No. But I don't feel worse, so that's something. Sarah Chen publishes her dissertation 2 years later. The Melissa Hartley Paradox. When Suburban Mothers Become Criminal Masterminds wins awards, gets turned into a Netflix documentary that none of us watch. But she sends me a copy of the book with a note. Thank you for your honesty. I hope I did justice to the complexity of the story. I flip through it, see photos I've never seen, read interviews with people I'd forgotten existed. It's strange seeing your life laid out as academic analysis, your pain reduced to footnotes. There's a chapter on Rachel, the prosecutor daughter, breaking cycles through justice that captures her perfectly. Sarah interviewed her after all, got her to open up about growing up in Melissa's shadow, choosing law as a way to fight back against chaos. I became a prosecutor because I needed there to be rules, Rachel's quoted as saying. I needed to believe that choices have consequences, that justice matters, that you can't just manipulate your way out of accountability. Every criminal I convict is a small victory over my mother's worldview. The book ends with an epilogue about unintended consequences, how Melissa's crimes led to the dismantling of 3 criminal organizations, how her theft from the cartel saved lives by disrupting drug networks, how her obsessive record-keeping gave law enforcement tools they'd never had before. Melissa Hartley was not a hero, Sarah writes. She was a criminal who died alone, unmourned by the family she betrayed. But her legacy is more complex than simple villainy. In trying to build a criminal empire, she created its destruction. In abandoning her daughter, she created a crusader for justice. In betraying her husband, she taught him the strength to survive betrayal. Perhaps that's the ultimate irony that someone so devoted to winning lost everything, but in losing, gave others the tools to win. It's more generous than I would have been, but not untrue. I'm 85 now, sitting in my study, watching Rachel on CNN. She's being interviewed about her potential Supreme Court nomination, fielding questions with the same sharp intelligence she's had since childhood. Judge Hartley, your mother was a convicted criminal who died in prison. How has that shaped your judicial philosophy? It taught me that everyone has a choice, Rachel says calmly. My mother chose crime, I chose justice. Neither of us can blame our choices on circumstances or other people. That personal responsibility is at the core of how I view the law. Some say you're too harsh on female defendants, that you lack empathy for women who turn to crime out of desperation. I have immense empathy for true victims. I have none for people who victimize others and then claim victimhood themselves. Gender doesn't excuse crime. Desperation doesn't justify destroying lives. My mother taught me that through negative example. The interviewer tries another angle, but Rachel deflects with practiced ease. She spent her entire adult life answering for Melissa's crimes, turning that burden into strength. After the interview, she calls, "How'd I do?" "Perfect. You'll be confirmed easily. Thanks to you. Thanks to yourself. I just kept you alive long enough to become who you were meant to be." Dad, I'm proud of you, Rachel. More than you'll ever know. I know. I love you too. After we hang up, I look around my study. Photos of the life we built after Melissa Rachel's graduations, her wedding, her children, Nora and me traveling the world in retirement. The foundation we established for children of incarcerated parents. A life of purpose born from pain. On my desk is Sarah Chen's book, now considered the definitive work on women in organized crime. Sometimes I flip through it, remembering, but mostly I leave it closed. The past is past. In the end, we won. Not by fighting Melissa directly, but by refusing to let her choices define us. By building something better from the ashes she left behind. By choosing love over bitterness, justice over revenge, hope over despair. Melissa wanted to be remembered. She is as a cautionary tale, a dissertation subject, a footnote in the stories of the people who survived her. But we're more than survivors now. We're thrivers. And that's the best revenge of all, not just outliving her legacy, but overshadowing it completely. The phone rings. My grandson, calling to tell me about his first case as a public defender. Another generation choosing justice, another link in the chain Melissa tried to break. I answer with a smile. The future is calling, and it doesn't know Melissa's name. Perfect.